Leche. 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 Get 'em, Jimmy, where low shack at. The bottle's getting nippy up the crack and we stacking chips. All of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated public sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced. Leave the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call it truth. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon 'cause we be pubbing.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? What a giant day we have ahead of us. I hope you are ready for action because that's what you are going to get. We are letting this 11 a.m. game go. We're letting it go. We're starting up here with the A10 Championship quarterfinal, Davidson VCU, that pops off in 28 minutes. We're coming off a middling disappointing day, 5-5, down 0.4 units. It was especially frustrating because I was 5-3 going into the Lafayette Leopards game, and that was just an atrocity. I opened up the game 1 of 19 from 3. And it was just tough to watch, tough to see the glory kind of fall. But on the week so far, we're 18-15 plus 2.15 units. We went 2-0 in NBA yesterday. We're 6-2 on the week plus 3.7 units. We went 0-1. The Jets look. I mean, the flower stood on his head. And respect to Marc-Andre Fleury. He doesn't want his job taken away from him, and he's got a ton of character and a ton of heart, and he was spectacular. And so that was a loss. So we're 4-5 down 0.75 units in the NHL this week. And then 3-4 in NCAA. Disappointing. So we're 8-8 so far on the week. Disappointing. But we're up on the week, and we want to be up more. Shout out to Nuke Worker. Nuke Worker says contacted Twitter, but crickets at this point. Nuke, what's going on? I don't know. Let me just copy and paste this so I can look into this after the show. I didn't know something was going on for you, Nuke. Let me see if I can help. Strategic investments in the house on UC Irvine -7. Great to see strategic investments here rolling with us. We have missed you, my friend. Great capper. Strategic investments on UC Irvine -7. Fap win is on Australia. Australia says world class baseball classic. Bring it on, China. We can beat them too. Says Fap win. There we got Fat Wally with his NASCAR action this week. Let's copy and paste that here quickly. Get that going. I know we got to move quickly, but let's just get everything sorted here. And J Dub in the house says, "What up, Jimmy Lowbag family? Happy Thursday, March 9th. We got to remember one of the greatest rappers of all time." Christopher George Wallace, a.k.a. Biggie Smalls. Yeah, I guess it's got to be the 26th anniversary of his death, right? Because last year was 25th. Too bad. I think he's the GOAT. I think he's the greatest rapper of all time. He's on my computer. Yeah. Sad. I did watch that movie. I don't watch movies ever, but I did watch that movie just that came out. I guess I don't know why it was hidden from everybody's eyes. It's pretty good. It's on Netflix right now. Why do I care about that? Really? Shout out to Biggie Smalls. He's the GOAT. Viper in the house. Winners circle. Mike M. Toledo, first half -7.5 to kick off the day. Gerald Jones is listening at work. George Mason, St. Louis under 140. There's Lucas Ryan, Clint Star, the Die Hard MMA podcast, Lil Domo, Billy Brisbane on that Miami Toledo first half under. Brizzy, we're going to close the show with NBA, so I don't think we'll get there till 1 p.m., maybe 10 after 1. But I'll figure that out. LJ from H-Town, Trill OG play today. Cash again, Trill OG play today going up to I can't say that yet. We're not 8 minutes in. To Durrell's play of the day and took him out. There's Bo Jackson. Clint says 0-2 last night for me in NHL. Big slate today. Can't wait and eat today. Well, look, Clint, I'm on the Coyotes train. I might bet them a lot for the end of the year. I'm on them first period. I'm on them full game. Plus 120, plus 140. There is Leonard Welch in the house. Dan Kelly It was either this or Leonard helps Penny get into her apartment. Thank you. Thank you for allowing us to win that. Look at Nasty Nate up 16 units yesterday. Nice to have a thick-ass bankroll for San Antonio, my man. Great to see all you guys. So Mike M. Rocco Rogers, A-Yo-D in the house, Slatsy. I looked very closely at that Canes first period. Very, very closely. I also, I won't bet overs with Hurricane games, but the Flyers on the road play to overs, especially over the last little while, but I haven't done that. Pimp Slap cashed again. Dana Delp ready to get to work. There's Ron Lofton. Yes, Dan Kelly, I've been hearing that from everybody about how good that Chris Rock's Netflix special is. There is Coin ready to get to work. Let's see, Coin. He has St. Louis -5.5, Iowa -3. We got it. I know we have another game popping off here in minutes. Let's just get this copied and pasted here. Vaughn Polo says Maryland will take an L. There is a Stimmy OG. Yeah, I imagine that, with KD being out, you might have done things differently. That was, a twist there. Dan Kelly says, I hope everyone got on that Atlanta first quarter yesterday. I did. I went 2-0. I cashed on the under in the Celtics game as well. I cashed that with you. He also grabbed Atlanta money line in the fourth quarter based on Washington playing their 4th and 5 games. Great job, and thank you, Dan. Kong's Clips ready to get to work. Troy Torrance coming off a big day. I love it. Jason Turgi. What a great group. All right, let's get to work right now. We have action popping off. Swiss Horton said, who the hell picked a horn frog for a mascot for TCU? I like it. Bo Jackson, NBA up to the shenanigans again. Let's get to work right now. We have our NCAA expert joining us here bright and early. 8 a.m. for him in Vegas. But he knows that we have afternoon action that needs to be attacked. Now, we did pick, I think, 4 night games, the marquee night games. But most of our attention's on afternoon action, and we missed out on some big games. And I'm sorry, we have 12 games that we're capping here. You may see some huge games that we missed. Luckily, 5 p.m. net profits stars Conor Mac and Bobano, so you can check it all out there. But we did miss some games. We apologize. Let's get to work. Let's bring on your first guest. He's been excellent on our show, and we have afternoon action, so we need him to be excellent again. Please welcome from Vegas, Conor Mac in the house. C-Mac, how are you?
Me, what's going on? Shout out to the chat. I'm pumped. March, basketball early. Not a lot of sleep, but I'm ready to roll. It's been good the last few days. Yesterday was excellent. Let's keep it rolling.
Well,
ton of games all day long. You gotta love this.
It's fun. It's fun. And thank you for making time for us here in the morning. We had to make the switch here. Couldn't start with NHL with all this action going on. So let's get everything set up here so we can get right to work. Again, we have skipped the first game. Toledo's already up 8-3, about 3 minutes and 45 seconds into that. We made that decision to let that one go. Let me get over. Okay, let me just get this up here. So we have the money moves here. Get this network up. Okay. And public betting. All right, let's roll. Okay, we get to work. We have a game popping off here in 20 minutes. 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Thank you guys so much for rolling with us here on Pub Sports Radio. Let's have a giant afternoon leading into a giant evening. Davidson Wildcats, 16-15, 8-10 in conference versus VCU Rams, 24-7, 15-3 in conference. We're at Barclays Center, of course, for the A10 championships. Let's start with the line history for this one. A big move towards VCU, and that happened last night. Let's move over here. We have, actually, it did come back a little bit this morning, didn't it? Wow. Okay, so Pinnacle opened this at -6. It's now at -7.5. Go over to Bet Online. Bet Online opened this at -5.5, and it's at 7.5 as well. Take a look at the total. This total opened up at 135. It's dropped down to 134. 135 to 134. Early bird best bet. BJ, who's running hot with these $500 bets, has moved on Davidson VCU over. VCU over 133.5. Going to copy and paste that for BJ. Thank you for sharing that with us. So we have BJ on the board with a $500 bet. Let's take a look at the cash flow here for this one. 42% of the tickets and 62% of the cash is on Davidson. The books have no respect for that money. Market keeps moving towards VCU. Then totals-wise, 32% of the tickets are on the under and 53% of the cash, and it's dropped a point. That does not concern BJ, who's on the over in this one. Davidson opened up their conference tournament yesterday with their second straight win, 65-54 at home over St. Bonaventure, 3.5-point favorites. A lot of you were on Davidson. Excellent work. VCU comes in off its sixth straight win, 74-68 at George Washington on Saturday as 6.5-point favorites. They defeated Davidson easily, 89-72 at home earlier in the year, before barely squeaking past them back on January 31st, 61-59 on the road as 3.5-point favorites. Let's get rolling. 18 minutes to tip off Conor Mac, A10 championship quarters, Davidson VCU.
Yeah, let's get to it. This Davidson team, let's go to them real quick. You know, what have they won? 5 of the last 6 have played better basketball towards the end of the year. Real quick on the total, too, with BJ. VCU's gone over a lot, you know, throughout the year. More of an over team than they have been in the past, a little bit lately. I get it. This total is low. But an early start, these games always get me. I just never love jumping on overs, you know, in these early games, Jimmy. I'm sure we've talked about it before. But there's always just some hesitancy for me to take the over. VCU is the better team here. This was 5.5. I thought it would move. There's a bunch of games today like this where we're going to see it. This one didn't have a buyback that are moved 2 points that from last night. People bet on it. This is going to move 2.5, and it's going to stop, stall, or come back a little bit, and we'll get the money as we go through it. In the game's coming right up after this. Wake, Miami, the Pitt, Duke game. This is VCU wins it here. You mentioned that game, that 2-point game, Jimmy. 3 of the last 4, other than that beatdown, have been decided by 2 points in this matchup. At 7.5 now, Davidson. I have not had success with Davidson. Davidson on neutral floor in this tournament has been very, very good. You know, now that you're getting 7.5, they are sloppy a little bit with the ball. VCU has the better defense. They can turn the ball over, though, VCU. 290th. But Davidson doesn't have a great defense. It doesn't turn them over. So there's a little up there. So how much can, you know, Davidson really do anything in that regard with VCU? VCU, the better team. Now it's gone too far for me. I get both ways here, you know, but I'm off this completely.
Yeah, I think I'm going to end up being off of it. Although, you know, Davidson didn't look that good.
They never looked that good.
No. And
I mean,
Bonaventure just looked awful.
Yeah.
So it's not like we could say, oh, I like Davidson in the first half to carry on the momentum from yesterday. I don't know if there was that much momentum gained. I agree with you that VCU is probably getting out of our price range here.
I think they're out of it. For me, at least. To touch on a couple more things. VCU, all right. Free throw shooting team. I always look at that. We touch on it a ton when you start laying points. It's actually 7.5. It shoots, you know, 70%, 227. Yeah, just I'm off here in the end.
Unfortunately, I'm going to be off too. In fact, if BJ wasn't putting 500 on the over 133.5, I think I would move on the under, or at least the first half under. I'm not going to do that.
Under. We will touch on a few of those today.
Yeah, definitely. But that was what I was thinking. And I agree with you, Dan, on that breakdown. Okay, well, it looks like I'm not going to have action now on Davidson VCU, which is fine. We have 3 games popping off at 12 p.m., and we've got them all capped. Brian Watson teased the over in VCU. Mike M says VCU in 11-21 against the spread spot, but 11-23 to the under spot for me today. I was interested in the under, but I'm fine. I'm fine moving off of it. Let's just move past it. This game pops off in 14 minutes. Some of you have moved on this game. I wish you guys all luck, but we have a ton of action popping off in 44 minutes. So I'm not going to get carried away reaching at this point. Let's move on to the Big East quarterfinal. Again, our producer, Jose Bouquet, is in Miami for the World Baseball Classic, so I will be doing this on my own, and I will put up the timestamps. It takes me about an hour to do them, so I'll do them after the show. I'll have the timestamps up probably about an hour and a half after the show. Let's move on to the Big East quarterfinal. Next up for us, over here for line history. All right. I would want to get involved with this badly. I do. And I understand what's going on. And I'm not going to. I want to hear everybody out and listening. And that's so important is listening because we work together to defeat the juice. But this is the only and I know that you could say that Carnesecca Arena is St. John's building, but they have so much experience at Madison Square Garden, and I was certain it was going to help them yesterday. I only took them first half. I wish I took them full game and first half like I did with Pitt, but
I did. I took them, and I hadn't taken them since December, Jimmy, and I do like him here. We'll get into it, but I thought it was just crazy because Butler can't score. Bates was out, and they had some guys, like 3 or 4 guys sick. So it was kind of, I just like, I got to take this when they got it done. But yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, I wish I had it doubled up as well, but I got the first half, and that was an easy no sweater. Let's go to the line history here off the top. Pinnacle opening this up at -6.5. It's now -8.5. Let's get over to Bet Online. Bet Online opening this up at -6, and it's -8.5. So we have a big move towards Marquette. We'll see if the money's on them as well. Total-wise, it's opened up at 163, a very high total. It's down to 161.5. It got as low as 160.5. So at this point, we imagine that the big bets will be on Marquette and will be on the under. Let's see if that is the case here. We have 47% of the tickets and 52% of cash on the under. Seems like the books are respecting that cash at this point. From a spread look, we have 61% of the tickets on Marquette and 59% of the cash. So there are some people that believe. I don't want to have a recency bias in my head. Billy Friedrich says Marquette rolls here. Ryan Mueller has a Toledo, VCU, Marquette, and South Florida money line at +131. And Mike M looking at the under. St. John's comes in off winning their first round match, 76-63 over Butler here at Madison Square Garden yesterday, 7-point favorites. Marquette comes in here off their 6th straight win, 96-94 at home over these St. John's Red Storm on Saturday as 12-point favorites. They defeated St. John's earlier in the year at Carnesecca, 96-85 as 3-point favorites back on January 3rd. Take it away. I'm all ears. And I might be getting involved. Floor is yours, C-Mac.
Let's touch on this total. How do you break this down? Do you want to go with this early game, first half? Because I like the under too. I wrote this down last night. They just played 96-94. The problem is both these two teams can light it up, and they don't play much defense. Even Marquette, as good as they are, they just outscore teams, and I don't trust St. John's at all. Posh Alexander, they're still turning the ball over, but they're athletic and they can score. But when they go cold, it could be cold. That's what keeps this under is St. John's not from scoring, I think, and making it a 96 or whatever type game, 85, 84, something like that. They have to stay in the 70s, I think, for this to stay under. But I thought it was too high of a number here. You know, when I saw 162.5, 163. One thing with St. John's right away, Marquette, revenge, everything. Them not covering against St. John's, I think they're rested, ready to go. That's another thing. But now this has crept out too far, I think, the number. And you mentioned it, St. John's. This is basically their home, you know, neutral site here. They're 6-0 their last 6. The under, too. I mean, the last 15, 11-3-1 to the under in these games for St. John's. I want the under. I just don't know if I want first half or full game. And that's it for me. I'm going to stay off the side here. I want to take St. John's. I can't trust them. I got them yesterday, and this does seem like a bunch of points, but if they're asleep here, I'm going to be pissed if I had money on them.
I just after that close game with Marquette, you know, their season.
I get it.
I feel like they're, you know, this is it. Obviously, clearly, the only chance they have of playing in the tournament is going on a deep run here, and I feel like they're going to be ready to go. And if we think that Marquette will slowly beat them down, that's fine. But you know, I guess am I getting a 5 in the first half?
That'd be good.
Getting a 5 because the 4.5 is heavily juiced. Oh, God. You know, that makes me uncomfortable. That 4.5 is juiced to minus 117 at Pinnacle. So
there's a 5 here, DraftKings.
I
I
almost
think there's
feel
a couple of 5s.
Billy Friedrich says St. John's 5-12 against spread at home this season. Where? It has to be broken down between Carnesecca and MSG. And we talked about how earlier in the year I was like, I think there's going to hurt them playing at MSG because all the nerves they're playing in this cathedral, and then now I think it helps them. So
what do you think it does to the total playing there for both these teams? They're so fast paced and so high scoring. I mean,
I think it moves towards a lower scoring game but I mean, that's easy to say. What they put up 190.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
96, 94.
So I'm not going to move on this till I get a 5. Like it does not make sense here. If we talk about, if Pinnacle is giving you the best line, probably not a bet you want to make. Regis Austin says both games this year flew over the total first half. Dana says DraftKings has them at +5. Okay, I'm going to sit here and kind of wait over the next 15 or 20 minutes. Wow, that's wild. Real Deal Prime. That's just absolutely wild. But I got to stay focused here. So are you going to decide?
They're 78 too. Wow. I don't think I'm going to move.
No.
Here. No.
Yeah,
but I'd take the under full game if I don't want to do it.
Yeah, a lot of people talking about what's going on here with Bill Self. It could be a heart attack. Bad news. Bad news for this team. Dan Kelly says, I've been to on-campus and MSG St. John's games quite a few years ago. It's two completely different environments, even more so than it seems on TV. Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, I guess I stay off of this spot here at this point, but I want the 5. I want it available. It's 4.5 with what I have available. So I'm going to hold off and wait. CMAC leaning towards the under, and maybe I just move on it if nothing else is popping off here for these games that go off in 36 minutes. So let's move on to the next one here. ACC Tournament quarterfinal. JPG says this first half's going to fly over. So a lot of people believe
it's moving up. There's 78s now, I see. A couple places. Circa. Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to the ACC Tournament quarters. Wake Forest Deacons 19-13, 10-10 in conference versus number 14th ranked Miami Hurricanes 24-6, 15-5 in conference. This one is going to be a lot of fun. Let's take a look at the line history here. Isaiah Wong and his Hurricanes are now the number 1 seed here, and going to be fun come tournament time. They open up at Pinnacle -5.5. They're now -7.5. So another big move towards the favorite. Let's see what happens here at BetOnline. BetOnline opened this at 5.5. It's at 6.5. So but it's juiced to -125. So it's basically 7 or 7.5. Take a look at the total. This total opened up at 161, down to 158.5. It got down to 156.5. So we have had a little bit of buyback here. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. Cash flow wise here, we have 71% of the tickets and 84% of the cash on Miami. Wow. Total wise, we have 42% of the tickets and 89% of cash on the under. Seems like a sharp look on the under. Wake Forest comes in off dispatching Syracuse yesterday in round 1, 77-74 to snap a 2-game losing streak. Miami closed their regular season with their 8th win in 9 games, 78-76 at home over Pitt on Saturday as 8-point favorites. It clinched their number 1 seed. They defeated Wake Forest in their lone matchup this year, 96-87 at home as 6.5-point favorites back on February 18th. And Lucas Ryan tailing BJ on the VCU over for a big bet. And Billy Friedrich saying, yes, 4-4 against the spread at MSG. Let's hear what CMAC has to say about this one. Another game popping off in 34 minutes. ACC Tournament quarters, Wake Forest, Miami.
Wake Forest, with the big shot, the big 3 yesterday to pull it out against Syracuse. Let's run through the offenses. Miami, averages 80. Obviously, great free throw shooting team late. This Miami team's been good all year, 78%. Both these teams horrible defensively in the low 200s, some even the 300s, their rankings. And I think Wake's even worse than Miami. I thought Miami in certain spots, their defense played well, and that's why they got the number 1 seed here in this one. We know their guard play. We know Wong and everyone else. I think Wake Forest, with Monsanto out, has not been the same. There's going to be another injury, the Rutgers game with Mag. I think that's going to be big there. He averaged 14 points a game, or second leading scorer. I think that hurts them in a game like this. I think Miami wins here. I'm just not going to lay these points with them. They've gotten by. You mentioned it, Jimmy. They have a 5-point win and a 9-point win. This seems like this today for me. Wake's athletic, though. They're just not great defensively. And early game, I want to look under, but with these two teams, have been great over teams, and I've took them to the over a lot. So this makes me off.
Yeah, I mean, Max Power saying Wake all day. I wish there wasn't so much money on Miami, and I mean, it's a tricky thing for us to decipher here. We have in both this game and the last game recent matches between teams that have soared over, way over. And what we're saying is, now ACC tournament quarters, it's going to be a much tighter game. I'm not sold on Brizzy on Miami first half, Ron Loft on Miami first half, Chad Lehman on Miami first half. I'm not sold on them first half. I'm never sold on the number 1 seed in an early game to start off a tournament ever.
I get it. I know. Hey, when you do this year in, year out all the time. Yeah, I get it.
But in saying that, I'm a little hesitant to fade them. Tone Miggins on Baylor, Illinois, VCU, and Mississippi State plus 500. Or Missouri. Is that Missouri State or Mississippi State? Let me know. And Illinois' money line for a big bet for BJ. I'm more with Billy Friedrich on Wake Forest first half. I just
can you get a 4?
I'm gonna check right now, but I'm not dealing with a ton of confidence in this spot, but I just feel like Billy Brisbane says Wake Forest sucks. They were struggling versus a Syracuse team that only has a center. Mississippi State. Okay, thank you, Tom. And then let's see what I would get here if I did want to move on it. No, I'm getting a 3.5. Ron Lofton says Billy knows. Mike M says I like Wake Forest first half and full game, but haven't fired the bullets yet. Okay.
They're athletic here. That's the big thing about Wake Forest that could keep him in this game. Jimmy.
I think they'll get worn down here in this game. Troy Torrance says the 3.5 is short for good reason. Okay. All right.
I think, real quick on the total, I think it's like the first game. I mean, it might stay under, but it would be a 76-72 type game. You know what I mean? And then the other one that flew over the second game. So that's why the total.
Don't do it, Jimmy. Miami's a beast.
Hey.
There's no question they're a beast. But what makes things more difficult is when you're the number 1 seed and you play against a team that got their legs moving, hit a clutch basket, and then you play, at 12 p.m. Eastern.
Exactly. And number 1's all that you said. And Miami just needs to win. We're talking about numbers, 7 points in this basketball game, or 4 in first half. You got to look at it a little different.
Brizzy says Wake Forest hit some of the most incredible shots I've witnessed in the ACC tournament in a very long time. They're definitely not doing that today. Look, I do not want to start the day going up against you guys. I do want to have action on these 12 p.m. games. So, and Chad Lehman saying Wake coming off an emotional comeback win. I don't think that's a problem in a tournament.
I don't think so either.
So
not here.
Yeah, it's different when it's like a season-defining victory and you play again 4 days later. I find that different. But here, when you're playing every day, I don't feel like that is a problem.
I mean, maybe if it's like you're the fourth or fifth day sometime, but I don't think so. Not after just one game. These college kids.
Okay, well, we'll still discuss this. We have one more game at 12 and another game at 12:30, and then we can kind of just take a look at all of these spots to make sure how we want to go into these noon games. So let's move on to the next noon game. Big Ten tournament, second round. Rutgers Scarlet Knights, 18-13, 10-10 the Big Ten versus Michigan Wolverines, 17-14, 11-9 in the Big Ten. As you guys watching, you can just go to our video description to see the schedule of games. Billy Brisbane says the books will let us slide with the Miami first half, but the full game will be a sweater. And Troy Torrance says, I don't think Wake Forest wins the game. I just think this game is priced appropriately. Okay. So Dan Kelly is going to tail with Miami. All right, let's take a look at the next spot on the board here. Big Ten tourney, Rutgers, Michigan. Get to the line history here, and this one is very, very tight. Pinnacle opened as a -2.5. They just moved Michigan to -3 at 11:14 a.m., so 18 minutes ago. See what BetOnline has done. BetOnline opened this up at -2.5. They moved Michigan to -3 about 30 minutes before that at 10:46 a.m. So a half-point move towards Michigan. Take a look at the total. This total opened up at 132.5. There's been no movement. It did go up to 133 at one point, but it's back at 132 where it started. Rocco Rogers says Michigan -2.5, one of the top plays today, second in top plays. Troy Torrance on Michigan -2.5, money line, top play of the day. Let's go into the cash flow here. And, I'm surprised it took this long to move to 3. You have 81% of the tickets and 89% of the cash on Michigan. Let's go over to the total here. This total opened up, as it was sitting at 132.5, sorry. 62% of tickets, 67% cash on the under, but books aren't moving towards the under. Ron Lofton says, hoping Rutgers jumps out early so he can get a nice Michigan money line live. Rutgers comes in off its second straight loss. Look, it was a real disappointing way to end the year. 65-53 on Sunday at home to Northwestern. They were 5-point favorites. Michigan comes off its second straight loss on Sunday to close out the regular season. Their last 3 games all went to overtime. This one was 75-73. In overtime is 3.5-point favorites. They defeated Rutgers easily in their lone meeting, 58-45 in Piscataway as 5.5-point dogs on February 23rd, not long ago. Take it away here for us, CMAC, another Big Ten game here popping off 12 p.m.
Yeah, the Dogs been pretty good the last 5 in this series. Michigan's owned them. They've beat them 9 in the last 10 in this meeting versus Rutgers. And I brought it up earlier in some of these games. Ever since Mag went out for Rutgers, not only it's so great offensively, it's his defense. And they still play good team defense, does Rutgers. But that's when the losses just came. They lost 3 straight. I think they won 2. Yeah, 2 of their last 8 since he's been out. I think he's the heart and soul of this team. So I can't take Rutgers. Michigan, who's playing a bit better, their last 5 won 3. The last 2 went to overtime that they lost. It's been tough for me with Michigan taking them all year. And I saw this 2.5. It just seems real easy right here, doesn't it? For Michigan, I'm off there. I like this under in this game. The first 2 stayed under the number, and with him not there, this Rutgers team, other than that Minnesota game, which they blew and lost 75-74, 53, 45, 59, 58, they can't score. Bottom line. I know you said there's not a lot of movement to the under. I just wanted to know if I wanted to go first half or full game. First half's only 62. The first game landed on 62. The other one was 49 in that second meeting. The meeting last year, was 62 that I looked up. There was only one meeting. You mentioned it, 49. So I'm looking at the first half under 62.
Yeah, I get it. I just wish the books would show some sign of fear. I guess why? 36% of tickets, 34% cash is on the over, but we're talking about 33,000 tickets in on this game as well. Mike M says non-road dogs between 2 and 7 in the Big Ten are 31-4-2 against the spread, plus 6.68 points per game against a conference opponent. They scored less points in the previous meeting compared to their season average, says Rutgers Spot. Danielson says, love Michigan, but it seems so easy. I will not ever bet a spot where 90% of the cash is on them.
Yeah, I'm not.
And the market has just moved just recently. It's just, but I can understand. It's fishy. It's fishy. You can't get around it. Well, why would Michigan only be such a short favorite? Dana Delp's on Michigan first half and full game. Maybe this will be. No, Danielson, we haven't moved yet. And I'm hoping that I can get a 5 in that one as well. In that first half, we are off in VCU. Davidson, by the way, that's off and running. Still no, so it's moved to 8.5, and I'm still not getting a. Maybe I should log in. How about maybe that will work? Maybe if I log in, I can see if it. Then will it move? Okay, let's roll on. It's okay that these games are tricky, but I would like to have some action here. Equanimous, there we go, is on Rutgers money line. Moneyline Mills is on Michigan. Okay, let's move on let's move on to the 12:30 game here. Big 12 championship quarters. Iowa State Cyclones 18-12, 9-9 in the Big 12 versus the number 10 ranked Baylor Bears 22-9, 11-7 in the Big 12. And Sweaty Butcher is on the Rutgers first half under 62. That's his first spot for him. Troy Torrance saying very confident in Michigan. Let's move on to this one at 12:30 p.m. here. Iowa State, Baylor. Baylor opening up at -4.5. That's exactly where they are right now at Pinnacle. They moved to 5 for a while. They actually went down to 3.5 as well. But they're sitting right exactly where they opened at Pinnacle. Let's see at BetOnline. BetOnline, it's opened at -3. It's up to -4.5 right now. Totals wise, this opened up at 134.5, and that is exactly where it is. What a sharp line for this here. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. First off, the total, 39% of tickets on the under and 66% of cash. So big bets coming in on the under. This thing's not moving. Let's see what about the side here in this one. Side-wise, you have 68% of the tickets and 80% of the cash on Baylor. 68 and 80. This is a funky spot here because Iowa snapped their 4-game losing streak on Saturday by winning at Baylor and beating them badly. 73-58 to 6.5-point dogs. Iowa State shot 54.2% from the field, while Baylor struggled badly, 35.8% from the field. The Cyclones had already beaten Baylor badly earlier in the year. 77-62 at home as 2-point dogs back on December 31st, and it's the exact same situation. Iowa State shot well. Baylor shot very poorly. It's very interesting here that you would have a team in Baylor who've lost badly to their opponent twice this year as favorites and becoming bigger favorites. Take it away for a CMAC, the Big 12 championship quarterfinal, Iowa State, Baylor.
You mentioned how well they shot it, and it was a game since they shot the ball that well, Iowa State. And you know what the big key was? They're a bad free throw shooting team, as Iowa State. They were 18-22 in that game as well that you just talked about, this last game against Baylor. I stayed off this game on Saturday, and then now, look, they're back here. Because I wanted to take Baylor, and man, they have struggled against Iowa State historically. Their wins the last few years, even when you won the national championship, they get by 4 or 5 point wins. Baylor here full game, I'd be leery of, but I want Baylor first half for some reason. I think they just want to come out here a little bit pissed. The struggles against them I don't love as much, but you got to think they shoot a little bit better in this matchup, and I still think Iowa State, as long as they're doing very good, they're still good defensively, and that travels. That's why full game. I kind of want to stay off, but I was looking at Baylor early here to come out hot. Them defensively though is not good, especially if Iowa State is smoking you. They need to shore that up, or they're not going anywhere in the tournament. And the dog's good here. I mean, 6-0 like I talked about in this series. The last 6 ATS, but I'm looking Baylor early. I don't want a full game, but 2.5. I was looking at first half.
Yeah, talk to me about this Baylor team here and their tournament hopes, C-Mac. Do you see this as a team that's going to show heart right here, right now, and show character and show that they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in the tournament? Can you touch on that?
As much as I like this team, I don't, because they're not the team they were the last 2 or 3 years defensively. Those teams were, not only could they score, they were tough. They won tough nails games. I haven't seen that too much this year. They can score, though. They still have Flagler, Cryer, George, and I think they could make it to a Final Four. I don't think they can win it all, this year. They're right outside of I'd say the 10 or so that can win it, which is still up in the air. I think there's about 10 to 12. But in this matchup here today, I'm looking at the first half. I haven't bet it, but I just think they come out a little bit. This team has owned them a little bit. And you mentioned both games this year. They took it to them. Do they shoot this well again? I think Baylor comes out a little bit pissed and needs to play some defense. And they shot it horrible, you talked about. So I'm looking first half. I'll let you know if I move on at the 2.5.
Well, this is uncomfortable, but I feel like Baylor simply has to show something here. Billy Friedrich saying Iowa State money line. I get it, but I just, this team is too skilled to be, bitch slapped around by a minnow. There's Iowa State, under 500 in the Big 12 in games where they didn't play Baylor. Yeah.
Sometimes you have a number, though. There's teams that match up. And that's kind of been Iowa State against them. It's the truth. But I agree with you. Hey, I want Baylor. I kind of just want them the first half, and I'm not a crazy first half guy. Because some of their wins over the last few years, because I've been on these games, I bet them, Baylor just snuck them out 4 or 5 point wins. So
I feel like I've got to move on Baylor here. Something's just screaming at me that they're going to turn the tables here and show why they were thought of as such an elite squad throughout the season. It just, you have 2 games in a row where one team shoots 20% better from on the field, but it just doesn't make sense if you look at the year-long stats. You take, you move into a neutral site here. Billy Friedrich says Kansas will now win the conference tourney with the Bill Self news. I think you kind of need to see them in the first game, when you deal with those types, you got to just see that first game. I just need to, because everybody handles this type of information differently. And I'd like a sense of where it's going to be,
This one's the ultimate one where I see both sides, because people are seeing what I'm seeing, how Iowa State's dominated them. I want Baylor. I want them early here. At the 2.5 first half.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave the other spots alone. In the other spots, I do not want to go heads up against cappers in the chat here that I respect. There's no reason for that. I don't think it will have long-term success doing that. So I am going to move on Baylor here, and I'm going to double up on Baylor. And maybe I'm putting too much into my belief in this basketball team. Let's just see what we could offer you first half so you can make a decision. I'm going to bet first half and full game here. It'll take me a couple minutes to get out. I'm going to get 2.5 and 4.5. But for you, there is a 2 available at -110 at Pinnacle.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay, let's get it. So C-Mac is on the board here. C-Mac is on the board. So he's on Baylor first half -2 at -110. And I am going to double up. Baylor first half and full game for me on the board, and I'm going to let go. Both Taint and Ron Crawford in the house. Excellent work from both of you fine gentlemen yesterday. So that is my only spot. We're now 14 minutes away from the 12 p.m. games popping off here, and NC spreadsheet play today is in at Siena. All right, let's pop this in here. Thank you, Slow Jams Arsenal. Yeah, I made good money off that fade the Knicks call. I didn't take Charlotte in that game, but I took the under and the Knicks team total under. But okay, thank you for sharing that with us, Ron. DC Capper in the house. I love it. So is there anything you want to do with Marquette, St. John's, Wake Forest, Miami? And is there anything you want to do with those two spots before? Oh, and also, of course, Michigan, Rutgers.
No.
Okay, so we're focusing our early action here on Baylor. Move this over here.
I'd take that under, though. I mean, I'm in Rutgers, Michigan. If I had a free bet.
NHL spreadsheet play today is on Boston Bruins in regulation. I came close to betting the Oilers first period, but I did not. 10 straight wins for the Bruins. Dizzy Rothstein is on Miami -7. There's Fat Wally in the house. What up, Wally, my guy? We can't wait to see you in San Antonio here in a short while. Lucky Power got the Michigan first half -1.5. Okay, all right, let's move on to 2:30 action. Big East quarterfinal, and I'm very interested in this spot as well. Providence Friars, 21-10, 13-7 to the Big East. Shout out to our nasty Nate. Can't wait to hang out with him in San Antonio. First, the number 11 ranked UConn Huskies, 24-7, 13-7 in the Big East. MSG for this one. I really like the season that UConn's had. I love how dominant they looked out of conference, and then losing 4 straight in conference to wake up. I feel like they found their way here, and I like this team. I expect to be using them quite a bit over the next few weeks. Here at Pinnacle, Connecticut, opening up -7 at -108. They're now -7 at -107, so no movement there. Let's see what BetOnline did. BetOnline opened this at -6. It's now -7. Totals-wise, this opened up at 146. It's dropped to 143.5. It had dropped to 143.5 earlier. It bounced back to 144, but it's sitting here at 143. Nasty Nate says Friar Town. There's the Fowlish Hound, who will also be rolling with us in San Antonio. The Delusional Eats party filling up very fast. If you're interested on Sunday night, it's about to be sold out. So if you're interested, reach out to Dabra Cadabra. I will be there. 2:30 p.m. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one here. Providence, UConn. 36% of the tickets and 62% of the cash is on UConn. Market not moving. I guess that's a little uncomforting, but only 36% of the tickets are on them. So, then you have 73% of the tickets and 68% of the cash on the under, and the under has moved. Providence comes off their third loss in the last 4 games. It was ugly. 82-58 at home to Seton Hall on Saturday's 8-point favorites, and we saw what Seton Hall did here the season over. They defeated UConn at home 73-61 before UConn returned the favor on their home court 87-69 on February 22nd, 7.5-point favorites. UConn comes in off their 5th straight win, 71-59 at Nova on Saturday's 2-point favorites, and we just saw what Nova did here. So I would like to back UConn here, but I would like to hear from everybody in the chat, and you, and most importantly, C-Mac, take it away. Providence, UConn.
Shout out to Mike. No, I'm not drinking beers early, my guy. This is coffee. This is a fucking coffee drink. I'm not that bad of an alcoholic. Somewhat UConn, the under. Their defense, they're going to keep this game under, if you like the under in this one. Providence last 6 neutral games have gone under, but Lim lately, something's wrong defensively with Providence, and maybe they're going to turn a switch, get Ed Cooley, coach up to him, because they've looked horrible, and nothing was worse than that last loss, 82-58 to Seton Hall, and we just saw Seton Hall go down to DePaul. I love how UConn's playing. It seems like they're playing how they were beginning of the year before they had that lull. I just can't pass, and I think this is a little bit biased here, Jimmy. It's a public dog, like it's Providence, them catching points as a dog here with Cooley is just such a profitable thing. Whatever it hits at over 60% or whatever it is, the exact number. So yeah, I'm off here because I think the points can come in handy. I don't like how Providence is playing a little bit lately defensively, and I do like UConn has been playing. So, and Providence on the other hand, like I mentioned, a little bit more over lately, and UConn's been a good under team for me. And the offense has come alive. That game against Villanova was like them in the beginning of the year, Jimmy, that dominated them. That 71-59 game on Saturday. I watched that game. That's how they looked early on in December. So that's a good sign. So that's what's keeping me off here all around.
Why would the public be on Providence here?
Well, I just think they're now becoming a little bit of a public dog all the time because they cover numbers as a dog. You know, when they have plus whatever, +3, plus they cover numbers. It's just a fact.
So you know what? I'm with Matty Ice. Like if I'm sitting here with a UConn and Baylor double up, and if I believe in if I believe in UConn, then I believe in the under. I mean, I could look at Providence team total under.
Yeah. What is that at?
68.5 for me. Because I believe in UConn's defense, and I think UConn's ready to show out. It's been fun watching their highs and lows this year. I think that's what I have to do here is take the Providence team total under just in case. I'd like to see what Pinnacle's holding that number at here. Quickly, let me pull this up. Dan Kelly with a look over in the PGA. He's being excellent there. Let me just quickly pull this up, and then we'll move on to the next game. But this will be my afternoon action here, and I'll be very comfortable if that is the case. Let's move over to this one here. Because this is juiced for me in a way I don't. -120, I hate that. The team total is also 68.5 for Providence at Pinnacle, and it's juiced to the under. Okay, so this is my afternoon action. It's going to take me a second to get in. I got my Baylor action in first half -2.5, full game -4.5. I'm going to double up on UConn. -4 first half, -7 full game, and the Providence team total under 68.5. The afternoon action for CMAC, he is on Baylor first half -2 and -110 available at Pinnacle. Okay, let's roll on. We have another huge game. There's Dabby Cab in the house. By the way, we have Friday night here at 8:45 p.m. We have Conference Tournament Mayhem on Pub Sports Radio, hosted by Dabby Cab and Razor Sharp Picks. That's Friday night here, 8:45 p.m. There's huge games going off at 9 p.m. So that will be this Friday. And then on Sunday, our Sunday Night Live, we're going to start at 5:45 p.m. So the first hour will be the selection show for the tournament. So we'll talk about that, and then we're going to attack 2 hockey games afterwards. But we're going to have a bunch of college cappers on the show with us so that we can hear their thoughts on the selection day. Nate Dogg in the house. Great to see you. Nate Dogg, 420, ready to get to work. Dabby Cab on Miami, full game. Baylor first half, Kansas first half, Arkansas first half, and North Carolina first half. Fun watching North Carolina turn it on here. So let me just copy and paste Dabby Cab's action, and then we will move on to the next 2:30 p.m. spot on the board here. And that is a great one. ACC Tournament quarters. Pitt Panthers were very good to me yesterday. 22-10, 14-6 in conference. Versus the number 21 ranked Duke Blue Devils, 23-8, 14-6 in conference. We're in Greensboro for this one. Let's move over to the line history here. Get this line history up for Pitt Duke. And here we go. Duke opening up at Penny as 4.5-point favorites and now 6-point favorites. Wow. Let's see what they are over at BetOnline. BetOnline opened them up at 4.5, 6 over there as well, but they got to 6.5. They've come back. Total wise here, opened up at 144. It's dropped 5 points down to 139. So we expect the sharp action or the bigger bets to be on Duke in the under. And wow, 34% of the tickets on the under and 89% of the cash. So that's clearly a spot where sharp action on the under. For the spread here, 47% of tickets and 85% of cash is on Pittsburgh. And yet this line keeps moving to Duke. We did see a half point of buyback. BJ says Duke home game, basically. Cashman coming off a 7-2 day. I love it. Pitt snapped their 2-game losing streak with an 89-81 tournament opening win yesterday over Georgia Tech as 7-point favorites. The first half was the easiest catcher to imagine. And we were lucky for a useless foul with 5 seconds left to get us the full game. Duke's rolling. They come in off their 6th straight win, 62-57 in North Carolina on Saturday's 4.5-point dogs. They defeated Pitt in their lone meeting, 77-69 at home as 9-point favorites back on January 11th. Here we go, CMAC ACC Tournament quarters, Pitt, Duke.
Yeah, here's another game, opened 4, goes to 6.5. I like that it's come back a little bit. Duke is rolling, it seems, since Roach has come back. And they really need him because they don't have great guards. He's it for them. And when he was out, it was rough for them. And they're doing it defensively, this Duke team. And that's why they've been an under machine, especially of late when they've been rolling here. Pittsburgh on the flip, still Duke 12-19 against the number. Pitt all year has been great. I've had them a ton, 22-9. I'm going to go back to them here because I think they're athletic enough with Hinton, Burton, Cummings. I think they hang around in this game. This number's come down. If you think that, I know I don't have the half anymore, but I want the 6 points with Pitt. I mean, as long as it's a semi-home game, it's close by, but I get Duke's rolling. But Pitt got by yesterday. I just like they're athletic enough to score. I think they hang around. I want the 6.
Yeah, I get it. I get it, but something's just holding me back a little bit. I guess the fact that there's so many big bets on Pitt, I imagine that the big bets came in around 5.5 or so. Or at that point they started coming in 5.5, 6, because it got to 6.5, and that was deemed too far. So I would imagine that the Duke action got in early and the Pitt action's coming in late.
Yes.
I certainly don't dislike it. Let's line shop for CMAC right now. Moving on the Pitt Panthers here. Let's see what our best line is. Move to full game here for Pitt. And we have 6s across the board. Low VIG, we can get you a -102 over at 5 times. So CMAC is on Pitt plus 6 -102. Gifted Cartel in the house. Great. Thank you for joining us. Danielson just took Rutgers money line at +120. Billy Friedrich liking Pitt first half. And Dan Kelly looking at a live bet on Ramey over in the PGA. All right, so that's all games before, or 2:30 and before. Let's move on to our final afternoon game, and then there's 5 night games that we wanted to touch on, because I did want to cap with you guys and have action at night, and it was mainly selfish. I don't like making moves in college football or basketball without capping with all you guys on the screen. So let's move on to the next afternoon game and our final afternoon game on the day. 3 p.m. Eastern, Big 12 championship quarters. West Virginia Mountaineers 19-13, 7-11 in the Big 12 versus the number 3 ranked Kansas Jayhawks 25-6, 13-5 in the Big 12. And the Bill Self news has come through. I'd like to get this news as well here. So they're not coming out and saying a heart attack here. Do we have anyone saying a heart attack? We're just recovering from illness, but there's a rumor going on that Bill Self has had a heart attack. Matty Ice, Taint play of the day, Charlotte money line. Let's copy and paste that. Charlotte money line, the Taint play of the day is in. Thank you for sharing that with us, Matty Ice. So we have Taint in, we have Taint in, and we also have the spreadsheet play of the day in. And when do these games start? Charlotte and Siena. I just go through. So Charlotte's at 7. and Sienna's at 9:30. Okay, so we can talk about those at the end, but Taint is in, and the spreadsheet play today is in. Okay, so let's take a look at this West Virginia spot here. Take a look at the line history and then see where the cash is at. The line history here, we have Kansas opening up at -3. They're now -4.5. There has been like a 7-cent move towards West Virginia at this number in the last 2 hours at Penny. Over at Bet Online here, opening up at -3. Now we have a -4, but it's pretty juiced. Totals wise, open up at 149. Now it's dropped a half point to 148.5. New Corker tailed the Baylor first half play. I'm with you on that. So let's all go out and cash it. Let's take a look at the cash flow here for this one. We have Kansas has 61% of the tickets and 33% of the cash. It's a little confusing as the market's moving towards them. Totals wise, it's open up at this has 45% of tickets and 82% of the cash on the under. 45 and 82, and we've seen it drop a half point. It had dropped a full point. Rick J also rolling on that as well on Baylor first half. I like that. Okay, West Virginia comes in off their third straight win, 78-62 over Texas Tech yesterday. It's 4-point favorites. Kansas had their 7-game winning streak snapped in a 75-59 loss at Texas on Saturday as 4-point dogs. Kansas won at West Virginia 76-62 earlier in the year, and then just barely got past them at home on February 25th, 76-74 as 10-point favorites. Take it away here, CMAC, Big 12 championship quarters, West Virginia, Kansas.
Yeah, when I saw this last night, the 3, I thought it was a play on with Kansas. The shoreline, and that's tough because West Virginia, red hot, 5 straight, right? Yeah, 5 straight games. They cover the number, and just lost to them by 2 points. But I think this spot was just huge for Kansas. Self not being there. I don't know, how these kids play with them out. They get up for it. I almost wanted to take them first half here. One thing with Kansas still. Obviously, they won the national championship last year. I've talked about it before. This team basically relies on this 5, the starting 5. They play heavy minutes. I think McCullough goes. I haven't got any news with his back. So I want to wait on that because he's the key. All these guys play over 30 minutes. Wilson, Dick, Adams, McCullough, all of them. They're not a deep bench. That's one thing. West Virginia can score. They've been an over team all year, and that early game, 76-74, this total's right there, right at 149, and it's come down just a little bit. I don't love that it's moved. I didn't jump all over it, but I think this is Kansas or pass in this game. I think everything ends. And West Virginia, I think, gets into the tournament. Right now they haven't been. I think they're one of the last 4, right around there. So, especially if they play a close game.
Yeah, that's tough. But you're right. If West Virginia plays Kansas really tough here, I think they might be able to sneak in. I want to see how Kansas handles this.
I agree. I mean, I don't think there's a rush.
No. So I'm not going to be moving on the Big 12 championship. I got 5 bets for afternoon action, so I'm locked and loaded. My day starts in 25 minutes with Baylor. First half and full game, and I have UConn at 2:30. First half and full game, and I have Providence team total under 68.5. So I'm in business. All right, let's move on to a few night games that we are focusing on here. We have 5 night games that we're going to touch on, and I know we're missing some huge spots, but NHL's next. We're doing 12 games in college basketball. We'll do the same thing tomorrow. We'll start with Bobano and college basketball and fire away early. Let's move on to the next spot I wanted to talk about. 6:30 p.m. Eastern, the Big Ten Tournament second round. Penn State Nittany Lions 19-12, 10-10 in conference versus Illinois Fighting Illini 20-11, 11-9 in conference. We're at the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. Let's take a look at the line history first, and then go into the cash flow next. This one popping off here at 6:30. We have had a move towards Illinois in this one. Oh, I guess not. Not at Pinnacle. At Pinnacle, Illinois opened up at -2.5, and it actually dropped to 1.5 about 2 hours ago. It's back at 2.5 right now. Let's go over to BetOnline and see how they are handling this spot. BetOnline has Illinois opening up at -1, and they got up to -3 at midnight. Right now, they're -2.5. Take a look at the total here. This total opened up at 145. It's dropped 5 points to 140. Wow. All of that movement was finished by 7:27 p.m. last night. So a huge move towards the under. We have a BJ on Illinois money line here. There's our guy C-Mac back in action. Let's talk about the cash flow for this one. We have on the total 43% of tickets and 57% of cash on the over, which is surprising. Now, we know that this 5-point move was sharp action that finished at 7 p.m. at night. Let's take a look at the side here, or the spread, I should say. We have a Penn. Oh, shit, where did it go? Here we go. 27% of the tickets are on Penn State and 43% of the cash. We have the public on Illinois. Bigger bets coming on Penn State, but in saying that, the market's moving clearly towards Illinois. BJ has 500 on Illinois money line. Penn State comes in. Oh, and Billy Friedrich on Penn State first half. Penn State comes in off their second straight win Sunday, 65-64 at home over Maryland as 3.5-point favorites. They've played so many close games this year and done pretty well in them. Illinois comes in off their second loss in 3 games, 76-71 at Purdue on Sunday, 6.5-point dogs. They lost badly at home to Penn State earlier in the year, 74-59, before losing to them again, 93-81 at Penn State on February 14th as 3.5-point favorites. And Jalen Pickett went for 41 in that one. Here's another situation, just like the Baylor game, where you have a team that's lost badly twice to the opponent as the favorite here. And then here BJ saying that this is a home game, basically. It's pretty easy to get to Chicago. I don't know if it's that drastic of a home game, with Illinois coming out of Champaign. But let's hear what C-Mac has to say about this spot. Take it away, Penn State, Illinois.
Yeah, I don't think it's that drastic either. You mentioned that game where Penn State played a ton. That if you like Penn State, they're in this game because of the guard play. Right now, in the NCAA, in these tournament games, in the NCAA tournament, what can get you places? Great guards. We know this. And that's Pickett. I mean, Lundy, Funk, all these guys. They shot it well that day. And if they shoot it well from 3 and from the floor, I think they're in this one. I don't really want Illinois. I get it. They lost to Penn State. I haven't really trusted this team a ton this year. Why isn't this moving more? I think the bigger bets are on Penn State. If Illinois is getting all the love, I think this should move to 3.5. It hasn't. So yeah, and I always talk about not a good 334th. They shoot 31%. They shoot 68%. From the free throw line, that's 303 is Illinois. I don't want them. To me, it's Penn State or nothing.
Yeah. This is,
and I don't want Penn State. I get the revenge with Illinois and everything here. But
I find this one extremely difficult. I'm going to stay off of it. Our guy Sharpie lighting up the baseball season early. I can't wait to watch Sharpie rock this year. You see a capper full of confidence, seeing things clearly, extremely excited. It's just everything you want in what we do. He's on the Reds Cubs under 11 at -110. He's now 14-3 in spring training. I'll pop that up again. Our guy Sharpie in business here in spring training, and I'm certain that he will carry that over. He'll have his Prize Picks show going on. Again, we have our Prize Picks. Our code for Prize Picks is Pub Sports, and our man Sharpie going to be killing it all year long. Okay, let's move on to the next spot on the board. 7 p.m. Big 12 Championship quarters. Let me get over here for the line history. We're at T-Mobile Center in Kansas, Missouri. This one is going to be fun, man. Very fun. You guys crushed it with Oklahoma State yesterday. Excellent work. Mike M., Dabby Cab. Oklahoma State comes in off their second straight win yesterday, 57-49 over rival Oklahoma as 1-point dogs. Here, line history-wise, Texas opened up at -5.5. They're now -6. That's at Pinnacle. over at Bet Online. Oh, shoot. Bet Online, here we go. Bet Online opened this up at -6.5. This got up to 7. Dropped to 6, up to 7, and it's just sitting at 6.5. It is juice, so it's basically a 7. Let's take a look at the total here. Open up at 143. It's down to 142. So we expect to see big bets on Texas and big bets on the under. Let's see if that is coming to fruition. For the spread, yes, 61% of the tickets and 91% of the cash on Texas. Wow. 61 and 91. And then 90% of tickets, 95% of the cash on the under. And that's a ton of money to be on both of those spots. The under has gone down a point. That's it, with all that money on it. And if you look at Pinnacle, well, it's only moved 7 cents at Bet Online from the opening line towards Texas. And at Pinnacle, it's moved a point. And Pinnacle, again, opened this up just before 1 a.m. Eastern time. Wow. This is wild. Very, very wild. Texas closed their regular season on a high. They snapped their 2-game losing streak with a 75-59 win at home over Kansas. On Saturday, it's 4-point favorites. Texas won at Oklahoma State 56-46 before they beat them again, 89-75 at home as 8-point favorites on January 24th. Is this just a sharp line? Why do you think this line isn't moving more towards Texas if all the money's on them? Take it away for us here, C-Mac.
I think we start to see, this unless the team is just extremely bad, they just stop right here, Jimmy. That's why the 6.5, 7.5 number, because this is a tournament. These are on neutral sites, games. Everything's on the line here. The season. Oklahoma State was a great play yesterday. They owned them, but that's a team that they could beat. Oklahoma is not good offensively. Texas is, and Texas beat them twice already. I'd like to. If Oklahoma State could shoot it better, with Anderson being out since early in February, they haven't been the same. It's tough for them to find scores. They don't shoot the three well. They don't shoot anything well, really. All in over 200, high 200s. To me, this is Texas or nothing. I really don't feel like I need to lay and get involved in this game, so I'm going to pass. But I'd lay it if I had a free bet.
Yeah, I don't. This is something just doesn't feel very. Either it's an extremely sharp line or. Look, I like Texas, but everybody saw what they did to Kansas on Saturday, and I think that's stuck in people's heads. And I'm gonna. This is no move, unfortunately, for me. We have 3 games left here, monster games. Let's go into the ACC Tournament quarterfinal. North Carolina Tar Heels, 20-12, 11-9 in conference at the number 13th ranked of Virginia Cavaliers. God, this game is going to be so much fun. 23-6, 15-5 in conference. We're in Greensboro for this one. North Carolina, bounced back from that loss at home to Duke to close out the regular season by destroying Boston College. It's still eating at me. Everything, they moved from 9.5 to 11.5. The big bets were on them. It was just, it should have been a move that I was on as well, and I sadly wasn't. We haven't seen Virginia since Saturday. They won their second straight game at home over Louisville, 75-60. That came on the heels of beating Clemson, which came on the heels of losing at North Carolina, 71-63. Back on February 25th. In that game, Virginia just did sort of what they do. They only turned the ball over 4 times. They were clean, but they shoot 39.7% from the field and 33% from 3. And North Carolina just shot better than them. And North Carolina took care of business, and they were up 42-26. And Virginia put up a comeback late, but it just wasn't enough. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. I can't wait to cap this. I'm very curious to see, is North Carolina able to do exactly what they did last year? Go on this monster run when people had counted them out. Oh, shoot. Sorry, that's the wrong game. Here, let me get back here. North Carolina. Okay, here we go. So the line is moved towards Virginia. Interesting. Virginia opening up at -1. Virginia was up to -3 at 11:30. Wow. 45 minutes later, it's back at 2. That's at Pinnacle. So let's go over to Bet Online. Let's see if they've done a similar thing with this. They opened it up at -1. They never got to 3, but that 2.5 right now is at -115. So the market's clearly moving towards Virginia. Totals wise, it's opened up at 128.5. It got up to 129.5, but it's at 129 right now, so it's up half point. So let's see. Do we have sharp action all over Virginia here? And for the total, 80% of the tickets and 82% of the cash is on the over. 80 and 82. And this has, what is it? Sorry, I forget all of a sudden. It has gone up a half point.
Half point.
And to drop the half point since it's high of 129.5. That's a ton of money on the over for it not to be moving in that direction. And then here on the spread, we have 48% of tickets and 76% of the cash on Virginia. I mean, it's tough to do this, but it's telling me it's tough to fade North Carolina from what we saw yesterday, but we're dealing with the fan base that just watched them crush a clear sharp action on Virginia. Should we follow that action? C-Mac, take it away. ACC quarters, Tar Heels, Cavaliers.
This is tough because Virginia has not been playing the best basketball. If you put your money on them, their last 5 too, 0-5 against the number. That first matchup, I had to go back. That was the best game that I could remember. I have to go back and look through it. That North Carolina shot the 3. They were 10 for 22 because they've been awful all year long. They had another one before that Virginia game. God, I forget who it was. A couple games before that. But they have not done well, and they chuck them up. But they still have Baycott, Love, Davis. I like Virginia here too. One thing I don't like laying even the 2.5 with them. I just don't love doing it. I think this is an under. North Carolina played a little bit slower into the under all year long. I think this is a little bit of revenge. I think this could be a real good close game. So I lean under, and I do lean Virginia a little bit. I don't trust them though. I just don't trust them that much in this spot. But I would take them.
It just feels like if everybody saw what happened yesterday and Virginia's still getting big bets and the book's clearly concerned, let's just take another look here and let's move to the money line. See what they've done with the money line here. So this opened up. So it's not as big of a deal. Opened up minus 135 and now minus 146, got up to minus 149. Of course, the money lines come out later, right? So this didn't come out till 7:34 at BetOnline. So that's in 4 hours, an 11-cent move towards Virginia. Pinnacle opened this up. Wow, earlier. Wow, Pinnacle beat them on the money line thing. Open up. I'm not used to that. 12:48 a.m. They've only moved it 3 cents, but look at this. This got up to minus 157 at 11:30 this morning. See that? And it's come back 22 cents because, we know North Carolina is a monster fan base here. DC Capper, these are your sides. I think I might have only copied and pasted your totals. I'll grab those, DC Capper. Thank you for sharing that. Well, I'm interested in Virginia. And what is going to keep you off of betting the under here? Res Mob in the house. What up, Res Mob? Brian Mueller. What's keeping you off of betting the under?
I don't know. I want to look at it a little bit more here because that first game, it went over here by 4 points? And like I said, Carolina shot the ball. Well, it's just low. I'm going to look at it some more. I wish this was 133.
Well, can you answer this for me then? Can I reframe the question? Why is the public all over the over?
Because they see it at 129.
And they think
it's light. They just, this is North Carolina over. When they see it like that, they're betting the over here.
And again, let's just go back. This is going to be such a fun game. This has dropped a point.
This could be tight too. Like one thing with Virginia, I've always talked about just laying numbers with them, and both these teams have been shitty against the number. 11-20. Virginia's 10-17-2. There are a couple teams that just, I haven't bet a ton on.
Everybody is on this over, and it dropped a point.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at it a little more.
Well, I'm gonna bet it.
All right.
I'm gonna be on Virginia and the full game under. Virginia and the full game under. Excuse me. Virginia and the full game under for me. Slow Jam saying Baycott will kill the offensive glass. BJ says, can I get an updated score on Davidson VCU work listening AirPods? Absolutely, BJ, and thank you for having us there with you. You wanted VCU Davidson Sorry, they just don't care enough about that game here. Let me pull it up here.
I got 37-26 VCU. 25 seconds left in the first.
Wow, going to be a real healthy, comfortable cover for VCU. Marquette up 12-9 on St. John's. Wake Forest, Miami, very low scoring start, 10-10. And then Michigan taking it to Rutgers, 13-7. I hope that continues, and you guys can take that to the bank. New Worker, my man, be well. New Worker, speaking of which, I got to reach out to you for something tonight. I'm going to message you tonight. So I'll be in touch with you here shortly. All right, let's roll on. Nasty Nate also listening with AirPods from work. Thank you guys for this, and let's make this a profitable day for you guys. Let's get that cash. We have 2 more games here before we get into NHL, so let's get into them. Next up for us, 7 p.m. Eastern, the SEC Tournament second round. Arkansas Razorbacks 19-12, 8-10 in conference versus Auburn Tigers 20-11, 10-8 in conference. Let's take a look at the line history on this one. Move over here and let's go. We have it's right here, right? A move towards the Pigs. I can't wear a hat that says Pigs on it, even though I would tell the cops it's an Arkansas hat. But I know that I would get thrown to the ground immediately, and they would, I can't do it. When I watch, white people wearing hats that say Pigs on it, I know that they're lucky that they're white. Okay, let's move on here. Auburn opening up at -1 at -108. This has moved to +3 at -109. A huge move towards Arkansas. Wow, 4-point move towards the Pigs. On the total, this opened up at 144.5 and has dropped to 144. Let's move over to the cash flow in this one. What a big move we are dealing with. Wow. Total-wise, 43% of tickets, 55% of cash is on the over. Spread-wise, 57% of tickets and 98% of cash is on Arkansas. Wow. We have a monster bet here. DC Capper going to head off to the casino. I've got all of your action here, DC Capper, so thank you. I'm going to share that with everybody. Hogs works. Okay, Mike, I'll use Hogs as well. So let's discuss this spot here. Arkansas coming off 3 straight losses, at Alabama, at Tennessee. They came very close to Alabama. They lost by 18 at Tennessee, and then they lose at home to Kentucky 88-79. Not the way they wanted to finish off conference play. Auburn also played Alabama tough on the first, losing 90-85 in overtime. Then they win at home over Tennessee 79-70 on Saturday to head into this. Take it away here, C-Mac. Can you explain why all of this money is coming in on Arkansas?
I have no idea. I'm a little bit shocked as you are. I haven't seen any injury. I don't know. Unless someone in the chat here. I don't know. I mean, they were a disaster towards the end of the year, was Auburn, and I was on over Tennessee. It was kind of like do or die at home, everything, and they beat Tennessee, who's been slipping. It was classic Tennessee limping in here. But towards the end, Auburn just defensively, it all kind of fell apart. This team, I was like, this defense isn't for real. And the numbers were good throughout, even the start of conference play. I'm this team's not that good. And then it started showing up. I like Arkansas here too. Now, not at this number. They just they're more athletic. They get inside well. They rebound well. So does Auburn. Both teams don't shoot the ball well. Arkansas can struggle, 32% for 3, but so is Auburn, 31%. I can't do it now at 3. I think it's Arkansas or nothing. I'm just I don't get the move either. I got to look at this more.
They lost at Auburn in their lone meeting on Saturday, January 7th. They lost 72-59. Arkansas shot 12.5% from three. Arkansas dominated the boards in that game. They also shot worse, so maybe they had some extra defensive boards, but they dominated 45-32. They were just 2-point dogs in that one, and they were, down immediately. Wow. Billy Frieder said it's March and it's tourney time. The best time to fade a Rick Barnes coach team ever.
Yeah.
Wow. This is this is a huge swing towards the Hogs. I wonder if I should move on them. Are you just saying it's moved too far? Like even first half? Yeah. You know what? It's just, but God, we're talking about sharp money though. Huge bets.
I need to look around here. Just
syndicate type action here. If you wanted, Slow Jam saying that Razorbacks go into cold shooting spells. You can
exactly.
Wow. Maybe I'm just too late.
I think I'm late to the party here. I worry about that. Smith's back. I think Arkansas is a little bit better, but Auburn's still pretty athletic. At Broome, they got some good players.
Wow, Slatsy giving us insight. We're getting into NHL. Gogster is waiting in the background, so we're going to get into NHL here shortly. Dvorak and Harris out tonight versus the Rangers. The most injured team in the NHL gets worse. I thought about doing something with the Rangers. The only thing I could think of was the first period minus a half. Maybe we go back to that. All right, let's talk about the final game on the board here. A huge one. Big 12 quarters. Number 22 ranked TCU Horned Frogs, 20-11, 9-9 conference versus number 12th ranked Kansas State, 23-8, 11-7 in conference. We're back in Kansas City, Missouri for this one. Let's take a look at the line history here and then the cash flow and then hear what CMAC has to say about this final spot on the board for us. Kansas State opening up as slight dogs at most books. Let's see what Pinnacle opened them up at. Gonna come up here. Pinnacle. Oh God, wrong game. Sorry. Let's see this again. Pinnacle opened this up at. Here we go. Sorry. Taking a second. Here we go. Pinnacle opened up Kansas State at +2. That's exactly where they stand right now. No movement at all. See Bet Online. Bet Online opened Kansas State at +1.5. Now they're +2, so a slight move towards TCU. Total wise, it's opened up at 147. It's gone up a half point. It had gone down. It opened up a point, then it dropped down to 146.5 as low as 146. But it's right at 147 right now. Let's see if this cash flow correlates with those looks here. This game popping off at 9:30. Right when Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play today on Siena pops off. But you have 32% of the tickets and 47% of cash on Kansas State. Books don't seem concerned about that. Totals-wise, you have 84% of tickets and 78% of cash on the under, but seems to be moving back up. Take it away here, CMAC, our final game on the board today, Big 12 Championship quarters, TCU, Kansas State.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Kansas State, your money, but it's going the other way to TCU. And that's tough. Kansas State, both these teams have been pretty good. For me, obviously, TCU had to spell with the injuries, and Lampkin's still out, but they have Miles, and they're very good. And K-State, which I thought would dip a little bit more, and they did have a lull, obviously, in conference play, just kept playing well down the stretch. This one's tough for me because at the very beginning last night, I kind of wanted to take K-State, but it was a total coin flip for me. At some point, Miles, they create so well shooting it, and getting to the rim does TCU, but their shooting woes are going to get them at some point. I just don't, in one of these tourney games, you can't shoot 29% from three, 70% from the free throw line and consistently win. And, but they've been able to get it done. So I like the team a little bit better that way. I'm the other way. I lean Kansas State, but I don't love this move.
No, I get it. Spence saying that in downtown KC, so many Iowa State fans. That was the same when I was in Chicago for the Sweet 16 Elite Eight. It was all Iowa State fans, and they got lit up and smoked by Virginia, and I enjoyed every second of it. So the great thing about our college basketball action was that was just an aperitif The main course comes at 5 p.m. and there's huge games. And I love C-Mac on these double dip Thursdays because he can sit here now for hours and hours going over everything and then hammer them again at 5 p.m. with Babano, and you get another look. It's going to work out well. I think we're all going to make money off of this doubling up for C-Mac on Thursdays. Let's review all action here. And I kind of like where I'm at now. I thought I'd have more action, but that's fine. You guys talked me off of a couple spots that looks like, oh no, St. John's right in business here. I was going to move on St. John's first half. I did not. They're down a point right now. I had interest in Wake Forest first half. Those were going to be the two looks that I was on. And my card starts right now. Baylor first half, full game for me. C-Mac also on Baylor first half. Then C-Mac is on Pitt +6 at -102. And I get back to work with UConn. Sorry, I skipped that here. I'm on UConn first half, full game, and Providence team total under 68.5. Then we have, I'm going to be on Virginia and the full game under in North Carolina, Virginia. And that's the extent of our action at this point. C-Mac will make additions. He'll tweet them out, and I'll retweet them. Let's take a look before we put a bow on this at some other looks here. First off, let's go to Ron Crawford. Spreadsheet play today pops off at 9:30, and it is Siena. So let me move over here. So Siena is the spreadsheet play of the day. And take a look, study the game, and know you're in good company if you want to run with Ron Crawford. Then the taint play of the day is Charlotte Moneyline. Charlotte Moneyline is the taint play of the day. That pops off at 7 p.m. Shout out to our Matty Ice. Then we have action from Dabby Cab. He's on Miami full game. Miami up 3 right now. St. John's up 4 in the first half. Oof.
I wonder if this Michigan under is going to come through. Rutgers, God, they can't score. 11 points.
Yeah, team total under for Rutgers. I'd let some spots go here. Dabby Cap's also on Baylor first half, Kansas first half, Arkansas first half, and North Carolina first half. DC Capper, he is on Ohio Ball State under 152. He's on Marist Quinnipiac under 140, Rice UAB under 157, and Niagara Siena under 129.5. For his sides, he's on TCU -2, UCLA -9, St. Louis -5.5, and Oregon -2.5, and Michigan -3. And then I copied and pasted Billy Friedrichs, but I don't know where I put it. He's on Quinnipiac. These are all first half spots. Quinnipiac -3, Prairie View A&M -1, UC Davis +1, Arizona -5.5, Xavier -7, and his strongest is CSF Fullerton +0.5. Good luck, you guys. Billy Friedrich says Wake in Miami tied up. I'm not going to let that get to me. If I would have started the day out 2-0, just don't let it get to you. Okay. C-Mac, spectacular work. Thank you for being here with us to start off the show here. It means a ton. And it looks like we'll probably be doing a lot of that over the next little while here.
Yeah.
Because Thursday is the start of March Madness next Thursday.
It is.
Okay, so
Thursday.
we'll start again at 8 a.m. with C-Mac. C-Mac, thank you so much. Follow him on Twitter at Conor Mac Picks, and check him out today at 5 p.m. alongside Bo Bano. Any last words for the Cappers supporting the show?
Oh, always. As I say, best goddamn chat in the goddamn game. And check me out later. Me and Babano, just at 5 Eastern. We'll get through the rest of these, and let's get paid today. Thanks for having me. Sorry we ran late. Today I ran overtime on these games.
Good man. There he is, Conor Mac in the house. All right, we move on to NHL, and then we have Brizzy for NBA. Obviously, we'll be following all these games closely here. St. John's now has a 6-point lead in the first half on Marquette. God, everything seemed, except for that huge market move to Marquette. I mean, obviously, that made me a little uncomfortable. And then Miami up 2 with 4:24 left in the first half. Now up 4. Look, if those bets go 1-1, and I would have lost a little bit of vig, I'll be much happier. All right, diehard MMA podcast, our man Clint McLean saying, so much hockey. I love it. I've made 7 bets in NHL. Let's get right to work and bring on our NHL expert coming to us from Belleville, Ontario. He will be in San Antonio and believes he will be our first Part 3 champion. Please welcome Mr. Gogster to the show. Gogster, how are you, my man?
What's going on, Jimmy? Doing well, buddy. Thanks for having me on, bud.
Sorry that we ran a little bit late. Thank you so much for your patience. Let's get right to work. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern. Dallas Stars 34-17 and 13, 17-8 and 5 on the road to the Buffalo Sabres, 32-27 and 4, 13-7 and 2 at home. We're at KeyBank Center in Buffalo, New York. If you look up untrustworthy, you'll look it up. I'm sure you'll see, I don't know, Sean Kemp and the Dallas Stars. This team just can't be trusted ever. They seem to step up as dogs. I just can't. And then we've seen them step up in the playoffs before. Here, the markets move towards the Stars. The Stars opened up at minus 146. They're now minus 167. When we get to the total, open up at 6.5 as a pick'em. It's still there. Ottinger versus Craig Anderson. Ottinger, 26-9 and 10, 2.36 goals against average, 922 save percentage, 4 shots. He's been great this year. I mean, just no getting around. He's better than I thought he was going to be. Yeah. Craig Anderson I love him. I hope the Canucks try to get him to back up Thatcher next year and tell him not to retire. I love him. 9-9 and 2, 2.78 goals against average, 918 save percentage, 1. So Comrie's been confirmed.
Comrie, eh?
That's why the markets move towards Dallas.
I see that now, yeah.
Dallas 4-3 and 3 over their past 10, 17.1% power play, 79.2% penalty killing. Buffalo 5-5 and 0, 25% power play, 73.9% penalty killing. Stars had their 3-game winning streak snapped in a 5-4 loss at home to Calgary on Monday. Sabres coming off their second straight loss, 3-2 at the Islanders on Tuesday. So Matthias Samuelsson is day-to-day with an upper body injury. It's unclear if he can return tonight.
He's in. It looks like he's in along with the other player that was out here, Jim. Yeah, it was Stillman and Samuelsson both look like they're going to return tonight from Donato, the coach.
Wow. Alex Tuck, though, 6'4" Alex Tuck remains on the IR with a lower body injury, 28 goals, 62 points, 164 shots in 57 games. He's been good. Diehard MMA says Ottinger has been bad.
His numbers actually, I have here, Jim, 3-2-1, and is since January the 1st. And he's with an 88 save percentage and a 3.49 goals against. So not the greatest numbers from Ottinger.
Interesting. I mean, I know that he got touched up against the Flames, but yeah, 3 goals allowed against Colorado. I mean, that's legit. 2 goals allowed against Arizona, 5 against Vancouver, 2 against Vegas. And I don't trust Comrie at all. But it helps having Samuelsson back enormously. So he can be with Dahlin, and Jacob Bryson can move back, and now you have Stillman up. Maybe the over is the play here. Take it away for us here, Gogster, Stars, Sabres.
Yeah, that's where I'm looking here, Jimmy. Over, I actually had Lukokin in net. So between Lukokin, Anderson, and now we got Comrie. They're really dishing up three goalies here, guys. They don't really have a number one. So I think there can be goals, Jimmy. 79% penalty kill, 73% for Buffalo. So penalty kills have not been the greatest the last 10 games. Wedgwood, Glendening are out for Dallas, but they got a completely healthy hockey team coming off a bad loss against Chicago to Dallas, guys. Buffalo, on the other hand, 2 losses to Edmonton and the Islanders. So you got 2 hungry hockey teams. Buffalo's in 6th place right now, too, Jimmy, 68 points. So they need these wins. Getting those players back, too, is going to boost their hockey team. So I think we're going to see a goal fest. This is one of the overs I like today. I got both teams to score in the first period, plus 155. And then the old both teams to score 3 goals at plus 160. With Ottinger's numbers kind of being up and down in the offense that Buffalo can create, guys. I look for there to be no shortage of goals. And, I'm going to rock and roll with that one, Jim.
First period, both teams to score. What did you get that at?
Plus 155.
Plus 155. And what did you get the 3 or more?
Plus 160.
Plus 160. Interesting. I would like to join you on that over. I didn't realize that'd be Comrie. I didn't realize that Ottinger had been that untrustworthy of late. So I'm definitely interested. All right, let's move on. But I would take the over 6.5 if I get involved. Let's move on to 7 p.m. Eastern. Philadelphia Flyers 24, 29, 11, 12, 14, and 7 on the road at Carolina Hurricanes 42, 12, and 8, 22, 7, and 2 at home. We're at PNC Arena, Raleigh, North Carolina. Cashman says Miami up 7. That makes me feel a little more comfortable. I don't mind just losing or not being involved if I would have just lost big. Carter Hart, 17, 20, and 10, 2.94 goals against average, 907 save percentage. Frederick Anderson, 16, 6, and 0, 2.35 goals against average, 906 save percentage. Ranta hurt right now. Philly, 2-7-1 over their past 10, 14.3% power play, 61.5% penalty killing. Billy Friedrich says Puljujärvi to make debut with the Canes tonight. Carolina, 8-2-0, 36% power play over the last 10 games, 96.6% penalty killing. I mean, it's a spectacularly coached hockey team. Philly comes in off of its 5th straight. Let me move this over here quickly. Sorry. Philly coming in off its 5th straight loss. I wanted to go over one thing with you guys here. They come off their 5th straight loss, 5-2 at Tampa on Tuesday night. Konechny remains out for the Flyers, which hurts, number 1 line center. Carolina comes in off its 3rd straight, and then you have Couturier all year. Carolina comes in off its 3rd straight win, 4-3 in a shootout at Montreal on Tuesday. And what I wanted to show was that I want to bet Carolina unders.
Now, are you seeing the goalie change there, Jimmy? Billy's bringing up here in the chat. Sandstrom and Kochetkov are going to be in.
Thank you, Billy.
Yeah, that's a good point, Billy, because I was not aware of that either. So definitely Sandstrom. That's a letdown. Kochetkov, he's been a great goalie for this team. They're really deep in goaltenders, the Carolina Hurricanes. So
I think that Kochetkov can steal the starting goaltender here as we move forward. But there's one thing I want to just touch on. So Philadelphia, I want to back their unders at home as much as possible. Their last 2 games at home, both easy unders against Detroit and Rangers. Their game against Montreal should have been an under, but an empty net goal hurt that. But on the road, at Tampa, over. At New Jersey Devils, over. At Edmonton, I think that was under by a half goal. At Calgary, over. At Vancouver, over. At Seattle, over. They're not showing much heart on the road, and that's why I just simply can't bet the under here, even though I want to bet under 6s. Now, this was plus 100 to the under when I was looking at it last night and this morning. It is now plus 110 to the under. So people seeing what, and I don't want the over, even if Philadelphia keeps playing against Carolina. I simply don't. Take it away for us here, Gogster. Flyers, Canes.
Yeah, Jim. So Philadelphia, too, if you didn't notice the game before, D'Angelo, guys, he had his filthy spear to Perry's midsection, as they call it, or lower section. So he's going to be out, suspended 2 games. Then also Konechny, he's been out for the last few games. That's just 2 of your key players for Philadelphia that they're going to be missing. And then looking at Carolina here, Jimmy, this team just keeps rolling. They've been winning. They've lost to Vegas and Anaheim, but good comeback win against Montreal. If you look at this road schedule, guys, they were at Arizona to close out just a small 2-game road trip, Jim. Came back home to Tampa Bay for 1 game and then traveled to Montreal. Now they're coming back home. So the trip here is not an easy one for Carolina, but I do think they get this one done, guys. Just top to bottom, Philadelphia can't score in general. On the road, they're not a team that I'm really worried about, Jim. Looking at what they've been allowing, it's the reason they've been going over 5. It's the goals against from Philadelphia. Now you don't have D'Angelo. You're losing offense more so than not, in my opinion. With D'Angelo, could really move the puck. So Carolina, they're going to be in a money line parlay. Jim, I got a juicy money line parlay here, guys. I got 4 for this one. It's going to come out to a nice plus 369. So this is going to be the first one, Jimmy. Later into the season, I think we can find some teams that are just making that playoff push and some teams that are lifeless. And this is one of them in Philadelphia.
Wow. And Billy Friedrich says, weird scheduling spot for the Canes this weekend. Keep in mind, Carolina plays Saturday night at home versus Vegas and Sunday night in Jersey. And they lose an hour on daylight savings here.
Yeah.
The Wake Forest Miami is coming right down to the wire here. Miami with a 3-point lead. Wake Forest with the ball, a minute left. St. John's now up 11. Wow. All right, let's move on to Rangers Habs and more injuries told to us by Slatsy for these Habs. More injuries. It just doesn't end for them here. Let's take a look at what we are dealing with. Rangers 35-19-9, 18-8-5 on the road. Canadians 26-33-5, 14-15-1. We're at the Bell Center. All of a sudden, Shesty is playing poor. 909 save percentage for last year's Vezina winner. Mm-hmm. Jake Allen, I have listed. I'm not sure if he'll be in fourth. Oh, did I hear that Montembeault is a go?
I had Allen written down. Unless one of our great hockey cappers here spotted that Montembeault was in, but I have Allen.
Okay, I had Allen too. 3.35 goals against average, 898 save percentage. Rangers 4-5-1, 23.3% power play, 69% penalty killing. Montembeault is confirmed.
Okay,
Montembeault is confirmed. So Rangers coming off their second straight loss 4-2 at Boston on Saturday. When are they going to break out? When are they going to do it? When are they going to snap out and have a huge game? Do you need to go to the Bell Center in Montreal for that? Maybe you do. I just don't like fading the Habs ever. I just don't think it's a winning proposition. Rangers have their defenseman Ryan Lindgren and fourth liner Tyler Mott day-to-day with upper body injuries. The Habs coming off their fourth straight loss, 4-3 at home in a shootout to Carolina on Tuesday. All four of these losses have come by one goal. Mm-hmm. I mean, take it away for us here, Gogster. Rangers, Habs.
Well, I can't be betting on with all these injuries, guys, in Montreal. I was talking about lifeless teams with Philadelphia. And Montreal's not as lifeless, only losing by one on a lot of these games. But just you have so many players that, they're just kind of doing the best they can. And in a situation where you have the Rangers, Jimmy, where they're coming off these two losses, then looking before that, they lost 4 games, a small 2-game win streak, and then again, 2 losses to good teams, Ottawa and Boston, guys, 2 strong hockey teams. And now you got a chance to come, like Jimmy said, back to the Bell Center. This should be a Ranger spot all over. I'm going to add it in the money line parlay. A guy in the chat here, what was it? M13 Rangers Canes parlay. I do like that. I'm getting a couple more games. We're going to add on that to make it a little more juicier. And have a bigger payday here at plus 369 it was. So I do like the Rangers here, Jimmy, even though Shesterkin's been struggling a bit. With the additions, I understand why maybe the Rangers have been a little bit slow. You brought in Tarasenko, you brought in Kane, so maybe it took a little bit for them to kind of figure out their line mates and whatnot. So this should be a spot with 7 big names out, along with Goulet, Barron, Armia, Doc, and now you're saying Dvorak's also out too. So this is a Ranger spot.
Yeah, but I guess I like the Rangers minus a half at plus 120. But I just need to see it. I just need to see them explode. I mean, the whole idea is trying to be ahead of the market to watch them explode. Deshaun G and Slatsy saying that Montembeault's confirmed.
And he has been better here, Jim. Looking at, he had a 909 save percentage, 950. What else here? 900, 854, 773. So he's been up and down. He lost to Anaheim, Ottawa, beat New Jersey, lost to Carolina, beat the Islanders. So I just think it's the offense. With a healthy Montreal team, guys, this team could probably get in 7-8 seed. Jim, if they're a healthy hockey team, this Montreal team is still doing okay with how bad. Well, like compared to Anaheim, Anaheim's really been struggling. So I'm going to have to take the Rangers here. Just coming off those 2 losses, Jim, they didn't acquire these players for no reason. So I know it's more for the playoffs than it is Montreal. But, 11% power play, 2 for Montreal, last 10 games. Rangers.
Look, I don't want to leave money on the table here. So let me just do one last thing here with Montreal. Slatsy saying who's going to play center for these Le Habitants. I mean, obviously, I guess you're right. I mean, they did pick up Tierney, but it's just going to be Suzuki and Drouin playing over and over again.
Anthony Richard and Chris Tierney. Yeah, like Anthony Richard, I'm not even familiar on who this guy is. And I watch a lot of Laval games too, but
you're talking about this Harvey Pinard?
No, Anthony Richard.
Oh, Richard, yeah. I didn't have to. Well, he's got a nice last name for Montreal.
Yeah, he does.
All right. Slats says Dvorak, a key face-off guy.
Like, yeah, if I'm looking at the offense as Montreal right now, and then you look at the lineup for the Rangers guys, like
It's just not working. So
I know it's not working, Jim,
it
but
will.
like it will,
It should.
and I'm predicting this is the time, like this is the spot. It's gonna work. So
Yeah,
this is a playoff team. Like we know this is a playoff hockey team. If they're gonna struggle against Montreal, they got bigger problems than any of us expected. But I don't think that's the case.
a little bit of French. Il n'y a pas de fromage sur la table. There's no cheese on the table.
La plus grande franchise dans la histoire du hockey.
What an ass clown.
Stay ball.
What an ass clown. I feel, am I leaving money on the table here? I don't want to fade Montreal at home ever. I just don't want to do it ever. But
they are coming off 3 losses. I know they've been tough losses, but it's – do I want the Rangers or Montreal in a game where they've both been losing? Like, yeah.
I get your look using them in parlay. Don't get me wrong. I have no problem whatsoever. I'm just talking about for me, if I want to move on it, I just and Mike Emson had play. Look, I got to see it. I guess I just got to see it. I got to see it. What's
going on, Mikey?
Let's move on here. And 7 p.m. Eastern. I think truly that this matchup is probably my favorite. New York Islanders, Pittsburgh Penguins. I mean, you go back. It doesn't matter how far you go back, just the battles. I just see Pierre Turgeon getting cross-checked from behind into the boards. I remember these battles, and they played hard against each other all year. Islanders, Penguins. Islanders 33-25-8. I can't believe I was such a bitch when I bet the Islanders to make the playoffs. I only bet $100 on it. Like, this is my lowest NHL future. I just got scared last minute, but that was a plus 210. I'm sure they're juice involved now if you want that bet. Penguins 32-22-9, 17-9-4 at home. I mean, they're going to be one dangerous last wild card seed. I mean, Crosby and the boys. PPG Arena in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Sorokin, Yari, I have listed. Sorokin playing excellent. Sorokin carrying this hockey team right now. Yari 19-7-5, 2.86 goals against average, 9.14, 7%, 1 shutout. Islanders 6-2-2 over their past 10, 16% power play, 80.8% penalty killing. Pitt 5-5-0, 18.2% power play, 71% penalty killing. I can't explain why their special teams have been so bad all year long. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Move over to Pitt Islanders. Pitt's taking money. Opening up at -130, now -141. That makes sense to me. Islanders coming off their second straight win, 3-2 at home over Buffalo on Tuesday. The Islanders are just dealing with a lot of injuries. And losing Barzal up front, you've seen what's happened. They're not scoring. Horvat's not scoring. You're missing Barzal. He's the pass first liner, best offensive player on the team. JG Pajot, Cal Clutterbuck, Oliver Wahlstrom. So you have 4 of your top 12 forwards out of the lineup. Penn's coming off their 5th win in 6 games, 5-4 in overtime at home to Columbus. I didn't like it. We had Peter Loshak on Columbus -1 at plus 536. They're up 4-0.
Whoa, I didn't know that. That's wild.
They couldn't seal the deal for Pete. Penguins were down 4-0. Okay, take it away for us here. I've not moved on this game, but maybe the Pens are the play here. Take it away for us, Gogster.
Oh, this is a tough one. This is not going to be in a moneyline parlay. I saw someone in the chat saying Pittsburgh moneyline parlay. I just brought up here quickly Yari, what he's done, Jim, since January 1st at home. So his last few games at home, he's where is he? He's got to scroll 63rd, 1-2-0. 0.888 save percentage, 4.64 goals against. Now, the Islanders aren't a team that's going to come out scoring a lot. They're coming off a win against Buffalo, win against Detroit. This is a game I don't really want anything to do with, Jimmy. I think I had written down here the old no goal in the I had no goal in the first 9 minutes written down, but I don't know. I don't really want anything to do with this game, to be honest. This is you got the 4th and the 5th best team in the Metro here, so this is going to be a cagey game. I would lean to the under if I had to make a play here. Looking at that first line too, without some of those big names, Barzal and Pajot, I believe they have the Toronto Maple Leaf Engvall. They have Engvall on the first line, with Horvat and Anders Lee. So a real tough, gritty. Like if you have Engvall on your first line, that's not a lot of offense. I'll tell you that right now. Then you got Parise, Nelson, Palmieri. I think this is like they don't have a lot of offense. The Islanders, just looking at their team right now, Jim, just a tough, big hockey team, tough to play against. So I would look to, I'm not going to play the no goal first 9 minutes. I'd look to the under zone this game, Jim.
The under is an interesting look. It's just depends. You get these first period unders nonstop, and then they explode at some point. But 2 of their last 4 games have gone under. The Isles are just playing the unders.
Big time. Them in Minnesota. Sorry, Jim, are big under teams.
I like that look. I can't believe we're getting a 6 in an Islanders game right now. It's
6.
the Penguins that are causing it, but I'm going to come right with you. The under 6 will be my first addition to my card. Here's the first bet that I made with a ton of confidence. The Tampa Bay Lightning. And I know you're sitting there going, how could you possibly have confidence in this Lightning squad? It's that I think Vegas is going to have a real tough road trip here. I think that we're going to get a ton of value fading them. And I think that the sharp money will be fading them all through this trip. And you need to bet the night before. I got Lightning -1 and -108. Let's see where it is right now. At Pinnacle opened up -159. It's now -158, a 19-cent move towards them. So what did it do at Bet365? Bet365 has gone in the other direction. Wow. I could have got a better line had I waited. It's -165. Strange. Very, very strange. Total-wise, it's opened up at 6. I got up to 6.5 for a little bit. It's juiced to the over at 6. I get that. Deshaun G says Pittsburgh money line is free money, says Deshaun G. It's going to be a fun game. And Rocco Rogers Lightning regulation team total over 2.5 says quick confirmed. Not my only reason, but it helps.
Quick confirmed. Yeah, that's big. Thanks, guys.
8. I had him planned in this one. I thought he was going to be an 877 save percentage. He's just bad. Vasilevsky, 916 save percentage. This is when he steps up. Bo Jackson says Golden Knights are 6-1 on the road against the Atlantic Division this season. For me, it was just that look who they were beating at home. Minnows. I don't like that. Brian Watson, not good. Knights had their 3-game winning streak snapped in a 2-1 loss at Florida on Tuesday. We were all over Florida. It pushed on the -1, but we were all over the under as well. Lightning snapped their 5-game losing streak with a 5-2 win at home over Philadelphia on Tuesday. Sometimes you need to beat up on a bad hockey team to get confidence. They'd allowed 27 goals in their previous 5 games. Victor Hedman remains day-to-day with undisclosed injury. I'd sure like him back in the lineup tonight. Part of me thought maybe he's back in the lineup tonight and the market moves heavily once he's announced. I'm on the Lightning -1, -108 with confidence. Take it away for us here. Gogster, Vegas, Tampa.
Yeah, great breakdown, Jim. Yeah, with Hill, guys, he didn't practice yesterday, so with quick going, they have Roy, Carrier, Brossoit, Stone out of the lineup here. No Hedman, Jim, lower body injury. The thing with Tampa Bay here I have is they're 3-5-2, 30% power play, 76% penalty kill. I guess I had them in the money line parlay originally, but I took it out. A little cold feet on Tampa Bay. They just haven't looked that good lately. But again, kind of like I took the Rangers, Jimmy, against Montreal to get right. They getting quick in net is a pretty big letdown. You got Vasilevsky on the other side, right? So I would be looking towards Tampa Bay here, guys. I'm not going to add it in the money line parlay. I already have 2 others that we'll get to here shortly. But if it wasn't quick, I would look to the unders here, Jim. But with quick being in net, I'd have to look Tampa Bay. I really would.
Yeah. I'm going to bank on Tampa Bay. Sats says Vasi 3-4-2 last 9 versus Vegas, 28 goals allowed. Vegas scored 3+ 7-9 versus Tampa. He's on Vegas team total over 2.5 -128. Clint says Vasi's been awful letting in soft goals. Knights live dog here, 3-1 last 4 versus Lightning. If you're going to, for me, if you can sit back and say, look, the Lightning aren't going to turn it on at the end of the year and get right, yeah. I'll bet against that. I think they are, and I think Vasi will too. So that's my plan. Let's move on to another spot that I hammered with confidence. The New Jersey Devils, 23-4-4 on the road. Look, I was one of the first to say that they'll regress somewhat on the road, but I want them here because I want to fade Washington Capitals as much as possible. There's a pimp slap play today on the Devils. I want to fade Washington. I've been saying this for how long have I been saying this? Over and over and over and over again. If you fade them at home, my pleasure. They've won the regulation 15 out of 31 games at home. Akira Schmid confirmed in net.
That's fine. Vanacek didn't look good his last game.
He's not been playing well, but that does make me a bit nervous. So I bet you there's been a market move back towards Washington since that happened. And there has. So Devils got up to -152. They're now -141. That's a minus 144 opener. Totals wise, open up at 6.5, juice to the under. It's ticked up to the over now with Schmid being announced. Johnny K likes the Capitals. I'll explain why I'm on the other side. Kemper has been solid, solid. Devils 6-3-1, 26.1% power play, 6.4% penalty killing. They're not rolling right now. They're still doing the same thing the Rangers are doing. They're bringing Timo Meier. They've got some things to figure out. Washington 3-7-0, 25.8% power play, 87.1% penalty killing. Billy Friedrich said, I just bet the Devils again at minus 138 current on a bookmaker.
Yeah.
Devils coming off their second loss, 3 games, 4-3 home to Leafs on Tuesday. The Capitals had their 2-game winning streak snapped in a 4-2 loss on Monday. So let's just go over this. So we have John Carlson out, their number one defenseman. Their best stay-at-home defenseman, Dmitry Orlov, traded to the Bruins. Then Nick Jensen hurt. Martin Feravari hurt. So you lose 4 defensemen and you bring in Rasmus Sandin. That's a huge problem. They are a fade moving forward. I'm on the Devils -1. I got plus 109. You get slightly better now. Take it away for us here at Gogster. Devils, Caps.
Great call, Jamie, with the Washington fade. I think it was like a couple months ago you were saying how you thought Washington would crumble. And they have, guys. Akira Schmid is the goaltender. You guys might not be too familiar with Akira Schmid, but he's coming off 3 goals against from Vegas. But before that, Jim came in relief, 12 of 12 against Colorado. Game before that, shutout against Philadelphia. So this guy, I'm expecting a bounce-back performance from Akira Schmid. Him and Nico Dawes were the 2 goalies that kind of fought this position out. And Akira Schmidt's, he's got the backup position here with Blackwood never healthy. But looking at the Devils too, guys, this is a big thing that along with Schmid having 2 shutouts before his last game against Vegas, is the Devils haven't lost back-to-back games, Jimmy, since Boston back on the 23rd and 28th of December. This team just doesn't lose back-to-backs. They've got Timo Meier on this hockey team. This is a team that's going to make a playoff push, I think. It's just going to be Vanacek, and maybe Akira Schmid can play some good playoff hockey. But this guy's he's a gamer, this goaltender. So I'll take the Devils. They're going to be included in the moneyline parlay. We have so far, guys, the Rangers. We have Carolina, and now we're going to add the New Jersey Devils. And I have one more to cap off this 14 parlay.
Beautiful. Let's keep rolling. Dom Play saying any unders in NHL. I'm going to take the under 6 in Islanders Penguins.
I think I said I was going to stay off it, Jim, but really talking out with you, I'll jump on that under 6 with you, brother.
All right. Well, let's line shop on that one. I think do I have another one? I'll have to see. I can't. A little caught up in college hoops right now. Islanders, Pittsburgh. Take a look at what we can get you for the full game. Under 6 and minus 105.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Until these guys start playing some overs, the Islanders just keep taking this under streak. It's been now 2, 4, 6. I could see it being 7 here. And they're giving us a 6. So, and it's been a lot of 5.5s. This is a friendly number.
Let's move on. It's going to be fun. 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Edmonton Oilers 35-22-8, 19-10-3 on the road. They've been excellent on the road this year. Against the Boston Bruins 49-8-5, 26-2-3 at home. Simply a spectacular basketball team. Oh, basketball. Sorry, I'm still looking at Baylor. Sorry. Sorry. I got to say,
they winning or losing?
They're down 3. It's not good, but they have the ball. All right, here we go. Stuart Skinner, Linus Yomark. Skinner 18-13-4, 2.86 goals against average, 913 save percentage, no shutouts. Linus Yomark 32-4-1. I mean, and a goal this year. I mean, my goodness. 1.89 goals against average, 938 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Edmonton 5-3-2 over the past 10, 35.3% power play, 77.1% penalty kill. Boston 10-0, and they've only had a 15.6% power play. I mean, 93.1% penalty killing. I mean, this is just the complete package, the real deal, and I do not have any futures on them. In fact, I had their point total under. So that's how horrific I did. The Oilers are now at minus 159. The Bruins are at minus 159. They opened up at minus 176. They got down to minus 147 at 11:57 this morning. So, and I get it. The Oilers play up to the level of competition. This total at 6.5 minus 116 to the over is now minus 125 to the over. I thought very hard about the Oilers first period. Very hard. I didn't move on it. They coming off their third win in 4 games, 3-2 at Buffalo on Monday night. They've been sitting here since Tuesday and Wednesday, waiting to play the best team that we've seen in a long time. We're hoping to get Evander Kane back from injury at some point. He still day-to-day with the upper body injury. Bruins coming off their 10th straight win, 4-2 at home over the Rangers on Saturday. Nick Foligno and Taylor Hall, 2 left wingers, not in the lineup. Take it away for us here, Gogster. Oilers, Bruins.
Tough game here, guys. Anytime you got Boston, it's never a team you want to fade. 103 points. They're by far, as Jimmy said, best hockey team in the league. Cheat code, if you ask me. But Stuart Skinner, 5-2, .914 save percentage, 2.45 goals against in his last few games here. So Skinner's actually been much better than Jack Campbell. I could see them maybe buying out Campbell at this rate, Jim, because he's definitely not worth the money they're spending. Skinner's been their number one. It's just this game, it's tough. 77% penalty kill for the Edmonton Oilers, 33% power play last 10 games. So that screams offense, but then you got a 93% penalty kill you're going up against in the Boston Bruins and the best goaltender in the NHL. So then you get the best hockey player in the league on the other side, right, in the Edmonton Oilers and Conor McDavid. So it's a good hockey game to watch. Maybe some live action if you can get Boston down in this game. I'd look at them live, but I'm going to stay off this game, Jim.
I came close to taking them on the first period. I don't need to reach. If I was worried about lack of action, I would add it. But I don't need it.
Exactly.
Let's move on to a game that I had to bet. And I didn't bet it last night. I bet it this morning after capping it and sitting with it. I capped it a bit last night because I almost moved on last night. Then I sat with it more this morning. I have to move on. I have to move on a team that's lost 8 of 9 games, and their only win was against this squad they're playing. And I do not think that there's Rebenga here for the Sharks because they don't care. They couldn't care less, is my estimation. Look, Logan Couture cares. Who else does? I don't know. And I like Mike Greer, and I think he's capable of doing a nice job with the Sharks, although we have not seen that yet. I don't think he had a very good trade deadline, but it's his first trade deadline, and he's a smart guy. I think he'll be fine. Sharks, 19-34-12, 13-16-4 on the road. I mean, you can't do worse than Doug Wilson. So he'll be fine. St. Louis Blues, 27-31-5, 13-14-4 at home Enterprise Center in St. Louis, Missouri. Capo Kakinen, 8-15-5, 3.81 goals against average, 8.79 save percentage. Will he be in between the pipes for the Sharks?
I got Kakinen and Binner.
I want Kakinen in net because he sucks, Kakinen. Binnington, 21-23-5, 3.34 goals against average, 8.93 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Both teams have been terrible over their past 10. San Jose, 2-7-1, 4.5% power play, 83.8% penalty killing. St. Louis, 2-6-2, 8.1% power play, 78.3% penalty killing. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. And I moved on the St. Louis Blues. I said out loud, when they played the Devils, who are a really good hockey team, I said, look, I forget the situation it was, but I was like, at this point, I think that the Blues will win 50% of the games if these two teams matched up in St. Louis. And the Blues won that game 4-2, and they were, decent-sized dogs. And I was like, well, just because, and that is that the only game that they won? I think they beat San Jose once, but other than that, St. Louis opening up at -131. They're now -152. I get it. I get that move towards them. Totals-wise, it's opened up at 6.5, -111 to the under. It's moved to the over. For me, we have an advantage in goal in Binnington over Kakinen. The Sharks come in off their 6 loss in 7 games, 6-0 at Colorado on Tuesday. I don't want to fade a team that's coming off a 6-0 loss, but they're dealing with injuries to 3 defensemen. Jacob McDonald, Radim Semek, and Andreas Janssen are all hurt. The Blues coming off their 8th loss in 9 games, 6-2 at Arizona on Tuesday. So that kind of negates both teams are coming off bad losses. Yeah. Their lone win at San Jose last Thursday, I don't care. San Jose has no heart. It's not like they're going to fight back. And this is a healthy group with just left winger Jake Neighbors out of the lineup. So if you put all that together, look at Parayko and Krug. Look, I don't like Kyrou, but I like Thomas. And I just see advantages on the Blues. So I moved on them. I'll pull up what I got. I forgot. I got it on the -1 line. I got a nice big plus spot. Take it away for us here. Gogster, Sharks, Blues.
Yeah, it's good points you're bringing up about St. Louis. They're, even with the trades they've made, you still got Shen on the 3rd line, Jim. Alexandrov's on the 4th. They're centering with Levo and Walker. It's just the goaltending here with Benner. I was just bringing up some numbers quickly here. Benner's he gets wins more so at home than he does on the road. But looking at Kakinen and Jimmy, his home road splits this year, at least since January on, smaller sample size. He's 0-4-1 at home, and on the road he's 5-4-1. So they like starting Kakinen, it seems like, at home, or sorry, on the road, and then more so Reimer at home. 900 save percentage, 3.33 goals against. Both teams to score first period. Both teams to score 3 goals. That's where I'm looking in this game. I don't want to force it, though. I took a stupid under in this game last Thursday when these teams played, Jimmy. I remember that.
I was on it with you. Look, I was on it with you. We talked each other into it, and it cost me a winning day. Yeah.
That was a little test there. I'm gonna go back to my notes just to see what I wrote down on that. But I was just a little. It's like a little vial there just to put some potions together, and didn't work out too well. Explosion. Kakinen and Benner, though, it's tough for me to trust these goalies, Jim, and just two hockey teams that are pretty lifeless. And one thing about San Jose that I got to bring up, their wins. They beat Winnipeg on the road at Winnipeg after losing to St. Louis and then Washington 8-3. So then they're coming off that 6-0 loss. So I do think there's going to be goals here again. I'm not going to take it, but I can't take a side in these two hockey teams. But I get it with St. Louis. I understand they're the better hockey team. It's just both these teams are pretty lifeless for the most part.
I like it. I've got a ton of action on the next 2 games, so let's attack here. I'm on the Blues -1. I got plus 114, basically what you can get now. I didn't really beat the line much. I kind of waited a bit here. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. Double up for me. 9 p.m. Eastern, Nashville Predators are a terrible hockey team. I have to fade them. I also have come full circle on the Coyotes. I think they're going to give us value. I was on them against the Blues. They're trying. They're playing hard and they're trying. And I don't know what to believe from the Predators from day to day. But this should not... Look at the Coyotes' record at home. 15-11-3 at Mullet Arena. I had to move on. And this was the same situation. There's been a couple situations lately where I've been very confident in a spot. The Oilers, who are they playing? God, I can't remember. But I was like, how do I make the most amount of money on this spot? And for me now, it's to not take them on a -1. For me, it's to take them on the first period and full game. And that's what I'm doing here. Predators, Coyotes, Mullet Arena. I'm on the Coyotes full game at plus 140. I'm on the Coyotes first period at plus 120. Slatsy says, which do you prefer? I prefer full game at plus 140. I want 60 minutes for a team that I think is playing hard, and we'll go over the deficiencies that the Predators roster has right now. I want the full game here. Line history-wise, this opened up at plus 141. It's up to 155. There's been a move towards the Predators. Look, I don't like that that's happening, but it's not going to scare me. This total was juiced to the over now. It's a pick 'em, so there's been a 4-cent move to the under. So, look, Saros is a hell of a goaltender. I really like Vejmelka. I don't think there's that big of an advantage that Saros over Vejmelka. Nashville 6-3-1 over their past 10, 36% power play, 7.9% penalty killing. Really nice numbers there. Arizona special teams are atrocious. 15.4% power play, 67.6% penalty killing. Nashville had their 2-game winning streak snapped in that 4-3 loss at Vancouver on Monday, and the Coyotes snapped theirs. But look at this here for Nashville. So we have this squad that is now has 4 centers out of the lineup. Your top 2 centers in Philip Forsberg and Ryan Johansson, Juuso Parssinen and Philip Tomasino, who are day-to-day. I mean, it's possible they come back. But there, you take 4 centers out of their lineup. That's what Slatsy was talking about with the Habs. Take 4 centers out of your lineup. How are they going to win faceoffs? How are they going to do anything? What are they going to Coyotes plus 120, first period plus 140, full game, and you can get much better now. Take it away, Gogster.
Yeah, well, that's great points here, Jim, on Arizona here. But I'm looking at Nashville here. Reason why Saros here really quickly, guys. 6-3-1 on his last since January 1st on the road with a .932 save percentage and a 2.29 goals against. He's been solid for this hockey team. They're still in 5th place, 69 points. I still wouldn't call this team out of the playoffs, but it's looking pretty dim without Tomasino, guys, and Parsons, especially Parsons. He's another centerman. He's had 7 points, Jimmy, on the road for this team since January 1st. That's something I'm looking at right now. Their plus minus has been really good. Matt Duchene's a plus 12, Novak plus 4, Yossi plus 3, Glass plus 5. Only guy that's not is Granlund, who is no longer on the team, I believe. So I think it's going to be a lower scoring game. And I also have written down Ingram possibly going here, Jimmy. So Ingram, you guys know Vijmelka Ingram more of a AHL goalie. If he's going, it's really that makes me like to play more. That's where I capped this, guys, was to be Ingram and Saros. So I'm going to add this in, Jimmy. It's going to be a Moneyline Parlay edition. I don't think they're going to slip up here, Nashville, even though their team, looking at their team, there's some new faces here. This Luke Evan, I can't even pronounce his name. It looks like an Italian feller. Haven't watched much of the Milwaukee Admirals, so it looks like he's been all right. John Leonard, Rasmus Asplund they picked up. I'm going to take Nashville here this is more of a numbers play, I guess you could say, Jimmy, because I get why people would be on Arizona, but numbers are telling me to take Nashville, so I'm going to add this one in the Moneyline Parlay, guys. This is going to be the last game. We had Carolina, New York Rangers. Who was the other one here, Jim? The Devils, in Nashville. So that's the plus 369 Moneyline Parlay, 4 teams.
Plus 369 for you there, Gogster. I like that parlay a lot until the Predators' inclusion, but we will see.
I know. I get it. I'm hoping if Ingram starts this game, I'll feel a lot better. If it's Vejmelka, I'll kind of plug my nose, but
Let's move on here. Next up for us, a double up spot for me. LA Kings 37-28, 17-11-6 on the road at the Colorado Avalanche 35-21-6, 17-10-5 at home. Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. Korpisalo 12-11-3, 3.13 goals against average, 9.13 save percentage versus Georgiev, 2.60 goals against average, 9.20 save percentage, 4 shutouts. The Avs have I believe a back-to-back in like 3 or 4 days, so I was quite confident that Georgiev would be in between the pipes. Lakers King 7-2-1 over the past 10, 21.9% power play, 81.8% penalty killing. Avs 7-2-1, 18.5% power play, 86.7% penalty killing. Just one more game after this until we get into NBA, and we have Billy Briz ready to get to work. Kings coming up their 4th straight win, 4-2 at home over the Capitals on Monday. Their last 3 wins have come against weak competition: Habs, Blues, Caps. Look, the Kings are a healthy group. The Avs snapped their 3-game losing streak with a 6-0 beatdown of the Sharks on Tuesday night. Josh Manson will be out for the rest of the month with a lower body injury, and Curtis McDermott also hurt. Look, I don't like that. Obviously, I'd prefer those guys in the lineup, and I'd prefer the Avs not coming off a 6-0 win, but the Avs need wins, and they need them now. They need to fortify their position in the division, so I think they're going to be playing very well. The over 6 at minus 120, I was like, oh, that's the bet, but I was just a little bit late. I got the minus 125, but look at this. Pinnacle has moved it to 6.5.
Really?
I got it just a little late, figuring out that the over 6 was gorgeous here. I'm on the over 6. Money line, this opened up minus 160 for the Avs. They got down to minus 149, being a late push on them back to minus 160. I'm on the Avs minus 1 at even money. I'm on the Avs minus 1 at even money. I'm on the over 6. Maybe if you can get low enough vig that the over 6 might be the best bet on the board. I don't know why it took me so long to figure that out. Take it away for us here, Gogster. Kings, Avs.
All right, a little bit against this one. I'm taking no goal in the first 9 minutes here, Jimmy. Watch the Colorado game here. They beat San Jose 6-0. They looked really good. But against Seattle that's a similar team you're going to get in the Kings. You're just a fast hockey team up and down the ice. Looking at what they did this year, guys, back on the 29th, it was 5-4 for the LA Kings at Colorado. So it's a little bit of a little risky, you could say, taking the no goal first 9 minutes. But looking at LA, Jim, too, they've come off this kind of lazy home streak, beating Montreal, St. Louis, and Washington 3-2, 4-2, 4-2. So I think it's going to be a bit of a slower. It's a big game. It's going to be like a playoff game, in my opinion. So maybe not the over like we would expect. That's just my gut feel in this one. I just think LA is going to come in a little slow here. And Colorado, I think defensively they're gonna show up again, just like they did against San Jose, who's a much weaker team. But they got outplayed against Seattle when we watched that game on that Sunday night stream. So I'm going to take no goal first 9 minutes, guys. It's going to be at plus 105, and I would also have a lean towards, plus 100, Jimmy, plus 100, no goal first 9 minutes, and I would also have a lean towards Colorado, but just going to take the no goal here. I think it's going to be really a slow kind of feel out start to this hockey game.
I can't wait for this hockey game.
It's going to be a good one.
The West is sort of wide open. Damn it. 38-35. Very close here in Baylor. Let's get it! All right, final game on the board before we get into NBA. Ottawa Senators 32-27-4, 13-15-2 on the road. Seattle Kraken 37-21-6, 16-12-3 at home. It's too bad that the Senators are dealing with these injuries in between the pipes. I do not trust Mads Søgaard at all. Do you expect Søgaard in between the pipes tonight?
Yeah, that's my guy. Come on, man.
I don't. I do not trust him.
6'8" Sogi.
Yeah, man.
What about Mando? He's like 6'4" too.
Yeah, I feel bad for the squad here. Tough dealing with this. Yeah. Let's move on though. Here, Ottawa 6-3-1 over the past 10, 13.5% power play, 95.1% penalty killing. I would kind of like to move on an under when you see the penalty killing the way it is, but I just can't do it with the questionable goaltending on both sides. We have Seattle 7-3-0, 22.6% power play, 95.8% penalty killing. Ottawa, their 5-game winning streak snapped in a surprise 5-0 loss to Chicago on Monday night. I kind of want to. Oh, god damn, that hurts me. 3-pointer by. Burakovsky, Vince Dunn are injured for the Kraken. Dunn could return tonight. I'm tired of trying to figure out ways to fade the Kraken. I don't believe in them, but I'm not going to fade them. Movement-wise, it's opened up with the Kraken minus 128. They're now minus 129. And totals-wise, it's opened up at 6.5 minus 104. There's been a 6-cent move to the over. Final game on the card. Take it away for us, Gogster. Senators, Kraken.
These are my guys. Ottawa Senators, Belleville Senator farm team. Søgaard, guys, he's going to be okay. Like on the big thing going into this hockey game is the Senators lost. Sorry, the Senators lost like 5-0, maybe it was 6-0. I don't know. I turned it off to the Chicago Blackhawks, and a game where I don't know why they didn't. They just laid an egg after beating Columbus and the New York Rangers on the road as well. So with the additions of this hockey team, this is an Ottawa spot, and I feel pretty comfortable on it, Jim. Seattle too. You got Grubauer. He might look good for a couple games, guys, Philip Grubauer, but for the most part, this guy he's a fish out of water. His positioning's not that good on the ice, Jim. He goes down too quick as well. And you got an Ottawa team coming off just an awful performance. Their power play's been a little bit weak, but this is an Ottawa spot. I'm taking first period Ottawa Senators, guys, plus 105, full game money line, plus 120, and then Ottawa team total over 3 at minus 110, Jimmy.
Oh, wow. Going deep.
Yeah.
All right. Hit me with those again.
Sens money line, plus 120, first period, plus 105, guys. And then the team total over 3 goals. 1, 2, 3 for everyone in La Quebec. That's 3 goals for the Ottawa Senators here. And also that's another thing.
What was that 2 set?
Minus 110.
Okay.
Minus 110. Sorry, I'm so excited for this hockey game. Vince Dunn. If they don't have Vince Dunn, that's offense. First line defenseman, power play defenseman. I've been watching this guy pretty closely. He's coming into his own. So if they don't have him.
He could come back, couldn't he?
Yeah, he could. But even a banged up Vince Dunn, he's been playing so good. Even if he does start, Jimmy, I expect Ottawa I don't think Seattle's going to be able to keep up with them. Let's just put it like that. I expect Ottawa to come out guns a-blazing. Yeah.
All right, locked in for that was my initial lean, but I can't do it with that with Søgaard now. All right, let's review all action in NHL here. All action. And then we get into NBA with our guy Billy Brisbane. In NHL here, we get started. I'm adding the over 6.5 in Stars Sabres. Gogsters on the first period, both teams score plus 155, both teams score at least 3 at plus 160. Then Gogster has a 4-team moneyline parlay. Canes, Rangers, Devils, Preds at plus 369. Then I'm adding the under 6 in Islanders, Pittsburgh. Gogster is adding it as well. I'm on the Lightning -1 at minus 108. The Devils -1 at plus 109. Edmonton, Boston, I stayed off. I'm on the Blues -1 at +114. Coyotes first period at +120. Full game +140. But again, Ghost is on the other side of that. I'm on the Avs at -1 at +100. The over 6 at -125. Ghosters on no goal first 9 at +100. And Ghosters a triple up on the Senators +120, +105. And team total over 3 at -110. Oh, they hit a 3!
No. Let's go.
Oh, I wasn't looking.
All right, Jim. This is what we live for, guys. Nothing like March Madness. It's already started. March 9th. Let's go.
Start off the day with a goddamn win.
Let's go.
Let's go!
Let's
Need a
go.
big day. All right, Ghoster, best of luck, my man. Not long from now. When do you head down here? When do we fly out to San Antonio?
Oh, I think it's in about 2 weeks there, brother. It's 2 weeks away, guys. 2 weeks away. We'll be in San Antonio.
Oh, yeah. Well, we land today. We'll be landing right now.
There you go.
We'll be landing right now. So you come through the spot on Wednesday, 22nd. Steaks. I'll have steaks and booze and NBA Jam and blunts. Steaks, blunts, NBA Jam ready for you. And if you want to play the original ice hockey, we can do that as well.
I'll be ready to go. Blunts, joints, you name it, beers, Kraken, it'll all be there, guys. Thank you so much, Jim, as always, for having me on the show. Guys, be good. Check me out, Eagle47 on Twitter. I got the golf show every Monday with Conor Mac. We are watching the players right now. Everything you do, Jim, I appreciate everyone in the chat. You guys, we wouldn't have a show without you. So thank you so much for tuning in, and let's look forward to Billy here and some basketball.
Let's get to work. Thank you, Gogster. Excellent work. Yes, has to be tournament edition, man. We can't have no computer assistance, man. If I'm up by 20, I don't want you hitting prayers. So, City Gaming looking at doubles -0.5 first period of +150. I love it. I'm not doing that. I'm just taking the Devils full game because with the Capitals' defensive issues now, 4 defensemen gone, 1 in with Sandin. I want to attack them, but I want 60 minutes. I don't want a power play goal by Ovechkin to hurt me. But I want to fade the Capitals nonstop and be making money doing that. All right, let's move on to NBA, and I'm very excited to cap with your next guest. This is his 3rd show with us. He's now on every Thursday for the rest of the season. What a spectacular young capper he is. You can dream about being at his level at his age. And I can't wait to work with him. He was spectacular in football this year, and he's following that up here in basketball with us. He's one of our stars of our NBA Pub Hub, and he's here with us on Thursdays. South Jersey in the house. Please welcome Billy Brisbane to the show. Brizzy, what up, man? How are you?
Doing all right, man. Doing all right. Got a little bit of March Madness going on across the screen, so we got the action starting off early today.
Flagler with a 3 at the buzz, baby. All right, let's go to work. We start at 7 p.m. Brizzy. Charlotte Hornets 21-46, 10-26 on the road at the Detroit Pistons, 15-51, 8-25 at home, Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. Charlotte 2-3 over their past 5. They snapped their 3-game losing streak with a surprise 112-105 win at the Knicks on Tuesday night. Look, I was on the Knicks team total under and the full game under, and I knew the fact that I wanted the Hornets here was bias after watching them play well. Now, maybe it's time for them, it took a few games to get over the LaMelo injury, and maybe they've done that. Pistons 0-5, playing at a pace of 98.40 possessions a game. Let's get our line movement and our cash flow up here so we can discuss just 6 games on the NBA card to put a bow on this show. Let's move over to the line history here for this. Get over to NBA, and let's fire away. This is a bum fight at its finest here. Charlotte opening up at -2.5. I could have got them at -3.5, but I knew that there was a bias involved, and this was probably a very public play. My very first year capping publicly in NBA, I finished the year up just under 10 units. My whole goal was 10 units. I finished at 9.82 units. I remember like it was yesterday, but I would not bet a road favorite at all. I would just not bet road favorites, especially small road favorites I want nothing to do with. Here we have squad in the Hornets, questionable squad as road favorites. Total opened up at 226, now at 225. Take a look at the cash flow. I imagine the public's all over them. That's not the case, though. 51% of the tickets, 57% of the cash is on Charlotte. Wow, I did not expect that. Let's see on the total. The total has 56% tickets, 82% cash on the over, and yet it's dropping. Oubre had 27 in that 112-105 win. They completely dominated the second half. Rozier went for 25 and 7. Hayward went for 23, 9 and 8. Charlotte had 27 assists. They got. You could see they were over the LaMelo situation. Only 12 turnovers. The Pistons fought hard, but they inevitably succumbed in their loss to the Wizards. I went over all the reasons why I should be on the Pistons, but was still too big of a pussy to bet them. It was Detroit's 6th loss by 6 or fewer points during this 9-game skid. I'm coming off a 2-0 day in NBA, 6-2 weeks so far. So let's build some confidence here. Ivy went for 26 and 12. Wiseman went for 21. This is a beaten up team. You have Bogdanovich with the Achilles injury, Burks with the foot injury, Duran with the ankle injury, Killian Hayes with the hand injury, Diallo, who provides a ton of spark with the ankle injury, Isaiah Stewart with the hip injury. Of course, Cade Cunningham out for the year. Diallo's now out for the year as well. Take it away for us here, Brizzy. Hornets, Pistons.
Yeah, this is definitely the walking wounded Detroit Pistons right here. They're limping their way in the tanking position here. They're 4-1 though. ATS last 5 home games. The Hornets are 2-5 ATS last 7 road games, 6-2 last 8 meetings in Detroit. And I kind of lean towards them on the spread here. Prop wise in this game, Kelly Oubre over 2.5 3-pointers, -132. He's gone over 4 out of his last 5 games. The books are we're putting this at 3.5 at plus money. Today they're putting it at 2.5 at juiced. I don't mind that at all. And then on the Piston side, Jaden Ivey's the only thing that's really popping for me. Over 1.5 3-pointers, -130. Ivey's gone over his 3-point prop 5 out of his last 8 games. Usage should go out without Sadiq Bey in there facing the Hornets team who just struggles defensively. Definitely get ahead of the market now on the Jaden Ivey stuff, but those would be the 2 leans on this game and on this side, but nothing official here.
Nothing official. So lean towards Oubre 3s, lean towards Ivy 3s, but nothing official. What's keeping you off betting Charlotte here?
I just, when it comes to the battle of the tanks, you don't know which tank is more prominent. And this is very crapshoot. I lean towards the Hornets, but if you take all the tanking stuff out of it, I would definitely bet the Hornets. But with the tanking stuff involved, you never know with these two teams. Last time these two teams faced, Charlotte covered a -7 spread. And the first time that these two teams met, both of these meetings were in 2023 so far this year. This is actually the 4th time that these two teams are going to meet. And I don't know. The battle of the tanks, I kind of lean towards Charlotte's a better ball team, even without LaMelo. Detroit Pistons are definitely walking wounded right now. They'll get Killian Hayes and Jalen Duran back for this one, but Isaiah Stewart and Bogdanovich are out. Isaiah Stewart, Hamidou Diallo, Alec Burks, and Bogdanovich are all out. So that leans for me to go with the Hornets.
But you're not going to bet it at this point.
No, there's no need to get gambly.
All right, let's move on. Next up for us, Houston Rockets, 15-50, 6-27 on the road at the Indiana Pacers, 29-37, 18-16 at home, Gainbridge Fieldhouse, Indianapolis, Indiana. Houston 2-3 over their past 5, playing at the pace 98.6 possessions a game. Indiana 3-2, playing at the pace of 100.1 possessions a game. And we'll get into their offense since the All-Star break here in a second. Pacers opening up at -9. They're now -9.5. Totals wise opened up at 236. It's now 236.5. It hasn't moved. I was keeping a very close eye on that total. Mike M, 3-1 start to the day here. Great job. VCU under. Lost at Wake Forest, which was tough. UM Billy too. And I was going to move on as well, but cashed with that big 3 for Baylor. Great start. And Big Show saying they're probably going to sit Bogdanovich for the rest of the season. Let's move on, see what the cash flow is for this Rockets spot. You have 66% of tickets and 39% of the cash on the Pacers. Interesting. I knew that people want to fade the Rockets. I didn't think that there'd be big bets on the other side. And I guess it explains the market not moving here. 44% of tickets, 79% of cash on the over. Interesting. I want to back the Pacers to put up points in this game. Billy Friedrich going to add the Rockets first half +5. Was it a week ago? We had the same sort of situation with the Rockets, and we had I took them first quarter Was it? No, it was just on Tuesday, right? I took them first quarter against Brooklyn, and they cashed that comfortably. A lot of Cappers were on them first half, and they just fell apart. Brooklyn took over. Brooklyn won 118-96 in that spot. Jalen Green as well seems to be going good game, bad game, good game, bad game. He's coming off a bad one against the Nets, 1 of 7 from 3. 25 points. He hasn't shot. This is a good thing to watch for you guys playing player props for Jalen Green. He hasn't shot 50% in back-to-back games since late December. And the Rockets just don't hit threes. 32.7, worse than the league, 32.7%. Pacers come off that 147-143 home loss to the Sixers on Monday. They're averaging 125 points per game in the 6 games since the All-Star break. And Halliburton is going off right now. 40 points, 16 assists against the Sixers. One of the best games of his life. Take it away for us here, Brizzy. Rockets, Pacers.
Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of value in this game. The Rockets are 5-17 ATS last 22 road games, 4-11 ATS last 15 meetings in Indiana, and 1-5 ATS in our last 6 meetings head-to-head. The Pacers are 6-1 ATS in our last 7 games overall, and the over's 5-2 in the Pacers' last 7 overall. I kind of like the Pacers in the over here in this game, but I think I'm going to just try to attack this player prop-wise. There's a lot of player props that are really popping out in this game. Tyrese Halliburton over 13.5 rebounds and assists at -120 is a good prop. Halliburton over 33.5 points and assists, -118, and is over 22.5 points, -122. He's gone over his points and assist prop in 4 of his last 5 games, averaging 33.7 points and assists over the last 3 games. The Rockets allow the most points to the point guard position over the last 3 games, averaging 33.7 points per game. So there are some good props in this one. Buddy Hield's in a good spot as well. His 3-point prop tonight's 3.5 at -115. He's had 4+ 3-pointers made in 8 out of his last 10 home games. And the Rockets ranked dead last in all the 3-point defensive categories. So there's a lot of different stuff to look at here to dissect. I'll tweet officially when I'm out on by the end of the day, but there's definitely some value to be had in this game.
Yeah, I hear you. I want the Pacers points. Now, I mean, they're high, so it's not the best case scenario, but I do want their points. Right now, it's 32.5 first quarter. I mean, that's too high.
I would not bet the Pacers in the first quarter.
63.5 for the first half. If I'm going to move on an over, I want to focus on the first half because I've just seen the Rockets sort of get heavy legs in the second half and stop scoring at a rate to cash overs. So that would be, I think it would be a first half Pacers team total over and a first half over with with the possibility of the Pacers running away a bit and it becoming a lower scoring second half. I think that's the way I'm seeing this right now. So it'd be two bets there. Pacers first half team total over and the first half over. All right, let's move on to the next spot on the board. We'll hear what Brizzy makes official here because he's looking at a lot of props, especially around Halliburton. Move on, 7 p.m. Eastern, Utah Jazz, 31-35, 11-22 on the road at Orlando Magic, 27-39, 15-18 at home. We're at Amway Center in Orlando, Florida. Let's get into the line history here for Jazz Magic. Move over here. We have the Magic opening up at -3 at -110. There's been a 6-cent move towards the Jazz. Total-wise, this opened up at 233. It's now up to 234. It's gone up 1 point. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have, wrong way. We have 55% of the tickets and 24% of the cash on the Magic. Public on the Magic. Bigger bets coming in on the Jazz. A hard team to trust if you've been watching them of late. Total-wise, 57% of tickets and 80% of cash is on the over. 57 and 80. We've seen this total go from 233 to 234. That's at Pinnacle. Other bets or other books put this out a much lower number. BetOnline opened this up at 231 and it's now at 234. So market moving towards an over here in Jazz Magic. Jazz coming off their 4th straight loss, 121-16 at Dallas on Tuesday. They're playing over the past 5 at a fast pace, 104.20 possessions a game. Orlando 2-3 playing at a pace 101.7. Markkanen went off for 33 in the loss at Dallas. That's 9 straight games, at least 20. but they've lost 4 straight, and they're 0-3 on this road trip. Magic coming off their second straight loss, 134-123 at home to the Bucks on Tuesday. Should we be moving on overs in this game? Take it away for us, Brizzy. Jazz, Magic.
Yeah, I like the Magic here in this spot. The Jazz have allowed 120-plus points in each of their last 3 games. The Magic come into this game on a 3-game losing streak, but still have play-in aspirations, while the Jazz are going to be probably without Sexton, Clarkson, and Kessler for this game. They're 2-4 ATS in their last 6 games, and 1-5 straight up in their last 6 road games. The Magic are 4-1 straight up in their last 5 games versus the West. And the Jazz are tanking right now. The Magic are 4 games out the play-in spot. This is a big home game for them, and I'm backing the Magic -3.
Brizzy backing the Magic. We can get you a better number than the 3 here as market is slightly moving in the other direction. Let's pull up what we can offer you here on the side. Full game side on the Magic. -3 at -104. There's only one book at 3.5. That's Bovada. 5 Dimes even moved this to 2.5, but that's at -119. So we can get you the -3 to -104. Do you want to see what it would cost for a 2.5 at?
No. We'll take the 3. That's the ticket that I have in my pocket, so that's the one that we're gonna roll with here.
-3 at -104 for you on the Magic. What are your thoughts on the total in this game?
I don't blame
let
you.
me fix that question a bit. Do you think that, with Clarkson and Sexton out, I don't mind Kessler not being out, because he can be real live defensively in the paint, even though he's sort of a toothpick. He can cause problems in the paint. But with Sexton and Clarkson out, do you fear the Jazz being able to put up points?
I lean towards, if this game goes over, that the Jazz are going to win, and if this goes under, that the Magic are going to win. So I kind of guess I lean towards the under 233.
I feel like there's sharp money here on this over, especially with the Jazz injuries. And is Clarkson for sure not going to be in the lineup?
I don't think he's going to play. I don't have him in the lineup. I have a Bahi from Kansas last year in the lineup.
All right, I'm interested in this over.
If you're interested in the over, I would probably go with the Magic team total over and just single out even having to worry about Utah.
I feel you, but I see the sharp money on the Jazz. So, 45% of tickets, 76% of the cash, and the line not moving towards the Magic. So, but I'm not going to go up against you, and I can understand why you like the Magic. So I'm just going to leave it at just the full over and use both teams here for me. Jazz, Magic over for me, a Magic -3. Were there any player props you were thinking of tying in with that 3 on the Magic?
No player props for me in this one.
All right, let's move on. 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Golden State Warriors 34-32, 7-25 on the road at the Memphis Grizzlies. 38-26, 26-5 at home. FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee. Warriors 3-2 over the past 5, playing the pace 100.9 possessions a game. Memphis 2-3, playing the pace 101.5 possessions a game. Let's go over to the line history in this Warriors spot. We have the Warriors opening up at -2. They're now -2.5. Totals wise, it's opened up at 235. It's now 236. It's gone up a point. Take a look at the cash here. See if that leads us anywhere. Cash wise, 31% of the tickets and 44% of the cash on the Grizzlies. That's why the line's, I guess, staying dormant. 49% of the tickets and 89% of the cash on the over, and we've seen it gone up a point. This one's fascinating. So many moving parts, of course. With Ja out, he's going to miss the next 4 games. Not going to be charged in Denver, which is good. Warriors coming off their second straight loss, 137-128 OKC on Tuesday. I messed that game up. I liked OKC, but instead I took the Warriors team total under. It's just stupid. Warriors have now lost 7 in a row on the road. We don't know when Wiggins is coming back. Grizzlies come off their third straight loss, 112-103 at the Lakers on Tuesday. I'm a little surprised that this is total so high and money's going in on the over. Vipers on the Warriors and the under. Tyus Jones, 25-12, assists with 5 steals in the loss to the Clippers. And then he struggled against the Lakers. We see that with these, young guards when they step up in one game, they kind of fall back to earth. We saw that with Emmanuel quickly. The fact how I wasn't on his player prop under after putting up 38 points. I don't know. He went for 14 against Charlotte. The perfect situation. But take it away for us here, Brizzy. Warriors
Yeah.
Grizzlies.
Warriors are 0-6-1 last 7 games, but 5-2 ATS. Last 7 road games, but 5-2 ATS last 7 games overall. They're 3-7 the last 10 meetings in Memphis. So I kind of like Memphis here in this spot. They're trending closer towards the ATS win after dropping their last couple of losses here. I think that they could pull this one out. This game is going to be on TNT at home. Memphis definitely feels like the spot here. Maybe a first half or a first quarter, but I would kind of want to be on Memphis some way here. Maybe it's the player props because my favorite player prop of the day here is going to be Desmond Bane over 4.5 assists at -146. Without Morant, Adams, and Clark, he has the second highest usage rate, and his assist percentage goes up from 19.4% to 26.1%, averaging 6 assists per 36 minutes, averaging 10 potential assists over his last 2 games here. So Desmond Bane, really good assist spot for him. Don't mind the Tyus Jones over 23.5 points and assists. Softer matchup than he had in his last couple of previous games, but I think I'm just going to go with Desmond Bane assist prop.
Over 4.5 assists. What was the juice on that?
-146, but I think I'm going to shop around, try to find better odds.
Okay, let us know if you do. Mike M says the Grizzlies have gone under in all 9 games since December when on a multiple game losing streak, and have gone under in 12 straight games since March 2022 when they committed less than 10 turnovers in the last game. Very, very interesting. Johnny K says Memphis in the tank. Millsy liking your prop on Desmond Bane. Are you going to move on the Grizzlies as well?
I don't know. I got to figure out how I want to bet it because the Grizzlies are historically a good team to back first half at home, but I don't know how to really play. Betting against Steph Curry doesn't give you the warm and fuzzies. I don't want to be at the bar tonight getting a couple of drinks and watching Steph Curry hit every 3 and yelling at the television. I don't know. I'd rather be yelling at the television over March Madness.
And it's his 3rd game back. He's probably finding a rhythm. I'm interested in the Grizzlies as well. I was actually interested in the over until we got those numbers. Because, 51% of tickets are on the under, 11% of cash. So big bets have come in on the over. But I don't want to go up against those. But let me ask you this, Mike M, are you betting the under? I'd like to hear if you are actually betting the under because I see the trend, but do you trust the trend enough to put cash on it? And Aquinum is saying he found that rhythm first game back. All right, Bane over 4.5 assists. Oh, he is betting the under. Okay, Mike, thank you.
Spenny Bomb says Klay Thompson threes.
Spenny, what up, my man? Great to see you. All right, Klay threes for Spenny. Yeah, I guess I can easily stay off. Okay, let's move on. He's going to let it go up and then hit that under. Interesting. Leo said this is Tyus free money, the Tyus Jones prop coming off a poor game. I get that. Let's move on. 8 p.m. Eastern. We have the news in from Lee Davis that Giannis will not be in the lineup here tonight for our next spot. Brooklyn Nets 37-28, 18-16 on the road at Milwaukee Bucks 47-18, 27-6 at home. Pfizer Forum, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So we have a ton of injuries in. So Giannis not going to be in. He was listed as probable, but it's an illness, so he's out.
Holiday is back.
Holiday is back, yeah. Wesley Matthews has a hamstring injury. Goran Dragic with the knee, they're listed as out. But the big story is with the Nets. It came out, Nick Claxton, Royce O'Neal, Spencer Dinwiddie, Cameron Johnson, and Ben Simmons will all be out of the lineup here. So it's just wild moves here. Let's take a look at these moves. That Pinnacle would have been safe. Pinnacle opened up the Bucks -13. They opened this up at this morning. -13. It's now -9.5. Let's go over to Bet Online and see, because they would have had less fear with limits. Oh, the same deal. Opened at -13. They're now -9.5. Totals wise over at Bet Online opened up at 230. Now at 231. So you have all these players out, and the total goes up a point. Spenny is on Drew double-double, if no Giannis. No Giannis. I believe it's been confirmed from Lee Davis. Let's take a look at the money here. 34% of the tickets. Oh, wow. Huge move. A bunch of tickets just came in. So, wow. Big move on the cash front here. Now 8,865 tickets in, and we have 45% of the tickets, 68% of cash on the Bucks. Then you have 52% of the tickets and 76% of the cash on the under, but it's gone up a point. Very confusing information here. Brooklyn comes in off its third straight win. By the way, pace-wise, now I guess we shouldn't even talk about the pace because there's so much. So let's not bother, because this is a completely different lineup than we've seen over the last 5 games. Bridges, though, rolling 30-5 in that 118-96 victory at Houston on Tuesday. Bucks coming off their second straight win, 18th in their last 19, 134-123 at the Magic on Tuesday. Shout out to our Mike M, who tripled up on overs. I only made the one bet on the over, but it was a very easy casher. Take it away for us here, Brizzy. A lot of moving parts, Nets, Bucks.
Yeah, I don't know if you do this on the show, but this is definitely a backwood.
Yeah, I feel you. Just too much movement.
This is a backwood. This is, for time purposes, save everybody's time. Don't bet this game.
It is a game with a lot of moving parts, personnel-wise, so I can understand your disinterest. Let's move on to the final game on the board. This one is a lot of fun. Yes, Equanimus, we'll take it, my man. New York Knicks, 39-28, 20-12 on the road at Sacramento Kings, 38-26, 20-13 at home. Golden One Center, Sacramento, California. Look at the Kings go. 12 games over 500. Wild. Knicks 4-1 over their past 5. They had won 9 straight. 4-1 over the past 5, 96.67 possessions a game. Sacramento 4-1, playing the pace of 100 possessions a game. Both teams playing well, except, of course, for that 112-105 loss at home for Charlotte last out. This is our final game on today's show. Let's take a look at the movement. Knicks opening up at +4, now +2.5. Big move towards them. Totals open up at 235, all the way up to 239.5. Big move towards the over. I want to see the cash flow badly. Sidewise, 60% of the tickets, 78% of the cash on the Knicks, and market moving their direction. Total-wise, 63% of the tickets and 93% of the cash on the over. And it's gone all the way up to 239.5. So big bets coming in on the Knicks, big bets coming in on the over, and the market moving in those directions. Millsy says, imagine being the only Sacramento Kings fan. Yes, you deserve glory. You deserve a nice run here. Knicks had their 9-game winning streak snapped. We talked about it. Jalen Brunson missed the last 2 games, but he did travel with the squad. Is this 1.5 move saying that Brunson will be available? We talked about quickly coming off that 38-point career best performance against the Celtics, going for 14 against the Hornets. Kings coming off their 6 win in 7 games, 123-108 at home over the Pelicans on Monday. Sabonis, 8th triple-double of the season. Wow, 19 points, 11 boards, 11 assists, 52 double-doubles. Herter, who looked awful, especially in the in the All-Star game, the 3-point competition. I mean, that's about as bad as you can look, other than MJ, I guess. 25 points and rolling on this homestand. Just rolling, hitting buckets. He shot 29.2% from 3 in February. I should have focused on that and faded him in the 3-point contest. The Kings also expect to have De'Aaron Fox back in the lineup. Deshaun G, you're a good man, says take a minute, tell everybody to smash the like button. You guys take such great care and support of us, and we thank you so much for that. Take it away for us, Brizzy. Final game on the card, Knicks Kings.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards taking the Knicks early here, specifically in the first quarter money line. They are 28-1 ATS first quarter this year, while the Kings are 28-35-1 ATS with a negative 15.2 ROI, which kind of ranks fourth worst in the NBA. So I kind of think the Knicks get off to a hot early start and kind of fade out towards the end here. And I think that's how I want to play this one, Knicks early.
So did you want first quarter or first half, or are you going to wait to make that decision?
I'm probably going to wait a little bit to make that decision. Waiting for a couple of player props because I specifically want the Jalen Brunson news. The Jalen Brunson news makes a whole lot of decisions. If Jalen Brunson was already in, I probably would have this ticket already in myself. But with Jalen Brunson potentially could be out, it could be Emmanuel quickly prop night with RJ Barry going off in the last game. But there's a lot of moving parts in this game. I think we got to wait till the 4 o'clock injury news report to really get a full picture. But pre-flop lean is going to be Knicks early, first quarter.
Well, let's review all action here. I'm gonna figure this out, but I expect to move on the first half Pacers team total over and the first half over in Rockets Pacers. Brizzy looking at a bunch of different props in that one. A real focus on Halliburton. Then I'm going to move on the over in Jazz Magic. Brizzy's on the Magic -3. Briz is on Desmond Bain. This is his favorite prop on the card. Over 4.5 assists. It's only one book that we found it at right now. So -146 is costly. Let's see what we have here for you on that one. See if I can get a better number quickly before we put a bow on this. Assists. Here we go.
But let's check it that way, because that's the only other book that I know that would have.
Yeah. I got -140, so at least we could take 6 cents off of it.
Yeah, let me check Betway real quick.
Check it out. Nets Bucks was a backwards, and Knicks Kings we've stayed off at this point. But Bo Jackson also waiting for the Brunson news. Deshaun G saying Brunson game time decision, and there you go. Deshaun G says Kings will win. Just take the money line.
You're right.
I'm hesitant to figure out a side on this one, but I think it would be Knicks or pass at this point. Spenny Pennybomb says Tyus double watch out for it. Harold Williams on Randall threes is easy money. Real Deal Prime says let's eat. Well, we're certainly we have a chance here for a double up opening up double up on the Bears, but they've got to get to the finish line. Brizzy, excellent work, my friend. Please tag me when you tweet out your action so I can retweet it for everybody.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you for your patience here. I know you had to wait a long time, but thank you. Also, Sunday is a huge show for us because we're going to start for the selection show for the tourney. Are you available for that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Beautiful, beautiful. So that we're going to start at 5:45 p.m. Eastern, and the focus will be on college basketball for the first hour and 15 minutes, and then it will shift towards NHL. There's 2 games popping off that are real fun. Hurricanes in one of them. I think what I have it right here. When I pull up right
Are the Hurricanes home or what?
Hurricanes at Devils and Jets at Tampa Bay Lightning. Both are starting at the exact same time, 7 p.m. Eastern, and we will be live betting those 2 games for the night. And we'll be talking college basketball the whole time as well. So there you have it, Brizzy. Thank you for your hard work, my man. Follow Brizzy on Twitter at @gettingbills_. Get that cash, my man. Any last words to promote your shows moving forward for the rest of the weekend? Because you got a lot of shows going on.
Yeah, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. We just recorded the first episode of In the Locker Room with me, Big Show, and Millsy talking about UFC and stuff like that. Oh, nice. So that's over on the Spotify network for Pub Sports Radio. So make sure you give that a check out and other podcasts. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe.
Beautiful. Much love, Brizzy. Thank you so much for rolling with us, my man.
See you, boys.
There he is, Billy Brisbane. All right, let's put a bow on this show. Review all action. We have reviewed NBA. For me, though, everything worked out. I was going to move on St. John's first half and Wake Forest first half. Wake Forest got unlucky there at the buzzer the first half, and I would have lost a little bit of VIG. I didn't move on it. I didn't move on Michigan either. I didn't have the balls to take Rutgers, but it just didn't make sense with the amount of money on Michigan. The line didn't make sense. But I'm not, sharp enough to realize to take the other side. I just was afraid. I didn't want the other side. I let the market get me off of Michigan. But I am on Baylor first half and full game. C-Max on Baylor first half. I want that money. I expect to get that cash here. I forgot to put in Baylor first half for C-Mac, but Dabby Cab, Miami full game looks like that's come to fruition. He was also on Baylor first half, Kansas first half, Arkansas first half, and North Carolina first half. C-Mac's on Pitt +6 at -102. Taint play today is Charlotte money line. Then we have, I'm going to move on Virginia in the under. I'm going to bet that here shortly. And that's the rest of my action. So I only have 7 bets in NCAA basketball, which I'm fine with. So then in NHL, we have Gogster on first period, both teams to score, and both teams score at least 3 in Dallas Buffalo. I'm adding the over 6.5. Gogster's on that parlay. Carolina, New York Rangers, New Jersey Devils, and Nashville +369. I'm going to add the under 6 in Islanders, Pittsburgh. Gogster added that as well. I'm on the Lightning -1 with confidence. I'm on the Devils -1 with confidence. Oilers, Boston, we stayed off. I'm on the Blues -1 with confidence. I'm on the Coyotes first period +120 and full game +140. I've never been excited to watch Coyotes game. I was on Tuesday against the Blues with a ton of confidence on them. And I just think there's going to be a ton of value with them moving forward. Gogster's got no goal first 9 in Kings Avalanche. I think there's going to be goals. I'm on the over. I think that's probably the best look on the board, but the market's moved pretty heavy in that direction. I'm on the over 6, minus 125, and I'm on the Avs, -1 at plus 100. And then Gogster's a triple up on the Ottawa Senators. That is our show. So now I will timestamp the show. I'll spend the next hour time-stamping it. Our producer, Jose Bouquet, in Miami for the World Baseball Classic. We've got a lot coming up here. But most importantly, we have our March Madness contest. We're going to be talking about it heavy. It's going to be on our website. It's $50 to enter. And we'll be talking about that, 50 American. And only the top 3 are going to get paid, regardless of how many people enter. We want a big score for them. So we have that going on. And then, of course, we have Pubapalooza. 2 weeks today, I will set foot in San Antonio. And if you see the walls of snow in my neighborhood, you'll know that I'm really excited about that. And other than that, big show tomorrow. We're going to do the same thing we did today, open up with college basketball. And we are going to roll. We're going to roll. A message here from our producer. And he says, oh, nice. Beautiful. So he did put 3 boxes for us as we move forward here. So at least I can let Bill know what games we're on. I guess I'll have to refresh that, but that's going to help. Oh, here we go. Awesome. So tomorrow we'll have this. Oh, God, it's not coming over the... Okay, I got to figure that out. I'm not getting the tops on them. Okay, I'll figure that out with Jose. But thank you guys so much. Thank you for all of your support. We have nothing without you. Juan Ruiz, Real Deal Prime, Harold Williams, Billy Friedrich, Viper NV, Johnny K, Bo Jackson, Deshaun G, Spenny, Penny Bombs, Rick J, Millsy, MMA Locker Room. Check out that big new show that we have. I can't wait to check it out. That's with Millsy, Big Show, and Brizzy. Thank you guys. Leo said it. Real Deal Prime, Equinimus, Mike M, Cashman 19, Daniel Sun, TJ Mizzy. Thank you guys. Now let's go out there and get that cash. We're on a great start, man. Juan Ruiz, my guy, man. OG. AOD. Love you, man. We're off to a great start. Feels real good. Let's go out there, finish the job, and have a huge winning day. What's the score right now for the full game? Go God! What the hell just happened? Jesus Christ. All right. A big run there by Iowa State while I was bragging about starting the day 2-0. Fuck. All right. I'm going to go sweat this shit out. Thank you, guys. You know us. Get that cash. Roll that shit like that shit. Smoke it. And leche. A los bookmakers. Let's go.